Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Victoris Rivals Draft. I am not Shibby, and I'm not even really the host, but we are making things work while we wait for Shibby to get home from work. I'm Infinite Dodge. I am joined, the miraculously returning Regdor filmed in this week, and a brand new addition to the Victoris family. We got Quicksand over there, going to be our weekly host. Gentlemen, how are we feeling tonight?
Absolutely fantastic. I gotta say, it's an early morning for me, about 9:45, but it's a good way to start my day. You know, everyone says your daily routine's got to be on point to set up for a good day, and I think the best thing I could do is hop here for a cast.
Absolutely, totally. Regdor, how are you doing, my friend?
You know, I cannot begin to tell you how great it is just to be casting League of Legends again. I just came off a night of playing VAD, Regdor cast, Regdor plays, went 1 and 2. Got a little bit of a quadra kill on Samira. No big deal, just another day at the office, but ready to see if VRD can live up to the land of the giants it allegedly is.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. There's always that contrast between the amateur division and the rivals division, as we do so label them here. Personally, as a VAS enjoyer and play-by-play caster, I typically like watching our gold games. They're fun, but, you know, the plat games have a little bit less of a fiesta element to them, so I guess if you're boring, we can enjoy those, but seeing as that it's week 1 and there are a couple logistical issues that have the desk a little bit mixed up, I just figured we could talk a little bit about the state of the league, what we're up to. Regdor, it's been a while since you've been around. You can reintroduce yourself. Quicksand, obviously you're new to the desk. You can tell everybody a little bit about your deal and, you know, what interests you and what we can expect from you. I think it should be a good time as we do wait for our first matchup of the night, which will be Hounds versus Rhinos. So, Quicksand, coming to you first. You were telling me an interesting anecdote about what you were doing over this past weekend.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, if you can tell from the way I sound, I am down from beautiful, sunny, warm Australia. Right now we're in the middle of winter, so not as warm, but it is fantastic down here, and we do have our own league, as NA does have their LCS, we have our LCO. Now, the LCO was just running into their playoffs at DreamHack in Melbourne here, and it was unbelievable. I was in the middle of this massive crowd. There was thousands of us sitting there in one of the biggest arenas in Melbourne, all sitting around the stage with all our favorite teams coming up, cheering for them. I even had to set up the stage myself. It was crazy, Dodge. I had such a great time. I mean, have you been to a LAN? Dude, these are so cool. If you haven't been to a LAN this big, then it's hard to explain what it's like.
I was supposed to go to LCS Finals last summer. It was a 5-minute light rail ride from my house in Newark, New Jersey, where I live, and then they canceled Summer Finals because of COVID. So I've never been to a LAN.
Nice. Going
to Worlds in New York City this upcoming October. It's going to be great. But yeah, that sounds like an absolutely outstanding time. Getting the stage built, being there to support the LCO's best and brightest. It was Chiefs for all of you OS enjoyers who did take the championship over the weekend. Basically an undefeated split, right? They only dropped the one game in finals, I think.
The one game. I actually have a photo of me with the LCO medal on as well because I'm friends with all the Chiefs players. They let me put it on. I get to touch the trophy. They went pretty much undefeated and they were not cut at all about losing their one game. I think it pushed them to their limits because going undefeated the whole split, Chiefs probably would have gone into Worlds a bit too confident, a bit too cocky, and getting one little hit lets them know they can bleed and they need to step up their game for Worlds.
Absolutely. Quicksand buff, put that energy onto the stage, into the trophy, into the medals, and got those players going good. So that has been an exciting weekend update from our newest host and play-by-play extraordinaire. Regdor, what have you been up to, my friend, since we saw you dearly depart from the VAS all the way back in Spring Split?
Oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. You know, I've been a little bit of places. Got to cast Proving Grounds, Open Qualifiers in the summer. A lot of great time seeing the best and brightest in amateur. Places that brought, you know, players like Chime and Danny. I mean, even the predecessor of people like Blabber and getting to see the next generation of North American talent coming up was an amazing opportunity. Moved myself out to the West Coast, and I'm now a referee at the LCS and Academy over at the studio.
Whoa!
So, yeah, I live about 20 minutes down the road. Go into the studio. Sadly, didn't work these last set of playoffs. Worked the Proving Ground finals. But just being in the environment and getting to see everything, they didn't let me touch the trophy. They just let me. Yeah. I'm just quiet in the background, man. I'm just here for mic checks. No, but it's been another awesome opportunity to be inside, you know, the North American circuit, both behind the scenes of production as well as in front of the camera like now, and just seeing player stories and watching them develop. So it's been an amazing time, and I always like to come back to my roots. Victoris is where I really got my start, and we get to see, I think, some fiestas tonight. This is the first week of them being drafted, so I'm hoping to see some fun level 1s.
Synergy not quite there
hold on.
yet.
Did you say LCS Academy? What kind of stuff do you have going on in NA? Look, bro, in OS, all we have is like one stage that happens like very rarely for live shows, and that's it. What is an LCS Academy?
LCS Academy is the level like the understudies, if you will. It's that
we know what
between amateur.
The question, I think, is like the stage set. Like, how often do we do lands and stuff as compared to? LCO has been digital.
Okay,
year.
Sorry, I was gonna say,
like you said, you're a referee and stuff. I thought, are they training you up? Is that what you were saying? Like, there's a. Were you talking about the academy like stream? I know what that is, but I thought there was like another whole academy, bro. They were training you guys up that for being a referee. I mixed up the context, bro.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. No, it was really like throw yourself in the water. I shadowed for like 1 or 2 games. I had to take a test beforehand. It was like, hey, do you know how League of Legends works, champ? Is this, are you on board here? And then I started refereeing games, which a lot of it's just like the technical stuff. Like in person, a lot of it is making sure audio balancing is correct, making sure they have all their in-game settings good, that there's no technical issues that would change the integrity of the game prior to it starting. And then you just kind of like are hanging out in case anything goes wrong. Like, oh no, Azir bugged out and got stuck in the wall. Well, we got to pause, and now we got to find out what all happened. Things like that. But no, there's not an academy of referees. Much like the rest of the adult world, it is you read a PowerPoint and took a test, and now you're certified, champ. Go on out there and do great things.
We love to see it. We love to see it. So that's some exciting stuff coming through for both of you guys in the thick of things in competitive league in your respective regions. Is there anything through this playoff season, strategy-wise, in-game-wise, that you're hoping to see applied here tonight by these aspiring competitive players, these amateur competitive players, things they can learn from what's happening in the meta that they could maybe apply to their games that would be particularly entertaining here?
Yeah. Look, after watching the LCO, there's and some of the leagues I cast in Australia, I kind of do like the proving grounds, but for Australia. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near as big, but they have this one team which is possibly they've gone almost undefeated the entire split, and they are possibly the best team ever to watch. Their team compositions and drafts are so aggressive, and they're all focused around getting on top of team fights and then just destroying the other team. And we had an interview with them at one point, and they told us that all they talk about in their comms is they make monkey noises the whole time while they're team fighting. So hopefully we see our teams embodying their team names. If we're seeing the Wolves or the Hounds and the Rhinos, I don't know, wait, what sound does a Rhino make, man? But
like
maybe there's a few of those.
Or something like that.
Yeah. See some wows coming from the side of Team Rhinos. That's what I'm looking for.
That'd be wonderful. Regdor, you see anything down in the ranks of NA Amateur that you think will infect the Victoris Rivals draft here tonight?
Yeah, I think it's already infected it. It's the CEO of League of Legends, the best champion in the game, and their name is Seraphine. If you are if you were playing in VRD, if you're playing in competitive League of Legends and you are on the red side and you don't ban Seraphine, grab that L, hold it tight, because that is a triple flex that is so many different ways to build it. You can build it as an enchanter. You can build it as a caster. You can move it around in the draft and have all kinds of unique lanes and priority. Now, given that people are going to say, oh, EG didn't have the strongest read on the meta and was doing some interesting things that made them less strong than they were in the regular season. But nonetheless, they were taking a chance, and I think maybe a little bit more ahead of their time in drafting these non-traditional compositions where you don't have a true ADC, but you have a lot of side lane pressure and a lot of you have to come at me compositions, and you really don't want to go into it sort of thing. So if that's something that we see in the draft. It's more like the I got you comps, right? Because if you're playing like double melee side lane, if you're playing like the Sejuani in the jungle plus the Renekton plus Aatrox, that invites you to dive onto them, but equally you don't really want to walk into them either. But also the CEO of League of Legends just says, come here with my Encore and walk in, like cast to the slaughter. Between that and Renata, I think those are two insane picks that you're almost forced a ban from the red side.
Yeah.
Well, Dodge, you saw as well how hard Chiefs Tally was it, who's the Chiefs mid laner, played Seraphine, and they literally solo carried the last game by just charming people again. Like I had to rub my eyes every single time they hit a charm because somehow they landed it on like 5 people every single fight and just won the fight. It's unbelievable.
I've memory hold the final game of LCO finals because Balkan, the jungler for Pentanet GG, my favorite Oceanic team, whose jersey I actually have sitting in my laundry pile over there. Maybe I'll break that out between games. But Balkan had this beautiful Baron steal on Vi. Q, instant smite, flashback over the wall, smooth as you like to keep Pentanet in the game. I mean, Pentanet, not to turn this into an OS League of Legends podcast, but Pentanet's like probably the 5 most well, maybe not Praedyth. No offense, Praedyth, I love you, but probably the 5 most mechanically skilled players in the league. It's just their macro doesn't always gel, their decision making isn't always on point, and as much as Praedyth can pop off in team fights, he also has a tendency to get caught mid lane, mid game, like every single game. I digress. This isn't an OS League podcast. I haven't thought too much about game 4 because it was a little too painful, but it does illustrate your point here, Sam, that yeah, Seraphine busted. Definitely don't give that one over.
Yeah.
It's got healing, it's got damage, it's got crowd control, it's got probably the most impactful ultimate in the game right now, I would argue. You guys agree on that one?
Reg, I'm a bit cut right now. What do you think?
I'm gonna say that have you been introduced to our Lord and Savior Zillion?
Oh, this is true. Zillion's busted.
Yeah, Zillion's a great pocket pick. Once again, a champion that is flexible, can be going through the mid lane or in the support position. And for teams like the VRD that are a bit more disciplined in their approach, but still have a lot of tendencies to we have to fight around objectives. We have to answer these things and not finding a way to make cross maps. Zillion just is an easy mode button because you can send somebody in, make them waste all of their key abilities on that champion. And congratulations, they come right back. And now when you go to re-engage, what do? Because you just lost a lot of key summoners and abilities. And if that's something, in the early group stages where these teams are trying to find footing, trying to find out how they want to play the game, it is an easy button. You'll always get priority in mid. You have a really powerful ultimate spell. And he's super annoying, as we saw played on the main stage by Jensen and Bjergsen.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a Zillion enthusiast myself. You get to that level 9, you have maxed out Q, QWQ, shove the wave, then you use your E, you get that base 40% movement speed steroid, just run it straight down the river to bot, put your ultimate on a carry, and watch the magic happen. It's a great, great pick for sure. I think enchanters in general are sort of the theme we've established here right now that maybe hounds and rhinos can look at between the Seraphine and the Zillion. And you know what? We're still in that bot-centric meta here, guys, so double enchanter maybe not even the most ridiculous idea for some of these teams. You still have Zeri hanging around, keeping their head in the meta, not so much on live servers as much as in pro because they're patched behind for playoffs, but definitely still the likes of Sivir, very, very strong in the current meta, as we are just waiting right now on ours from both teams. We do have the majority of the players in lobby, so we will be going to draft quite shortly. Any other, this is a segment I like to do on VRS with my casters. Anything less competitive focus, more cheese picks for fun stuff you guys have been doing in solo queue yourselves that you might want to shed some light on?
I did a pre-show the other day for a university league down here, and we had to draft a super champion. I don't know if you guys could do anything off the top of your head, but a champion that you could draw abilities from anybody and put them all onto one champion. And obviously there had to be QWER slots and passive and all that. And I was thinking, like Ornn passive goes crazy. Like you get the armor buff, you get ornaments, you get to build items. Like it's a crazy passive. And then I realized that if we were all going for like themes, and I was just trying to make the most annoying champion in the game. So all I did was just put Teemo passive, Teemo Q, Teemo W, Teemo E, and who would have guessed Teemo R. I've been playing Teemo way too much in solo queue. After working at DreamHack, I've got a Teemo keychain. I'm a big Teemo fanboy right now. I got the hat too. I don't know where it is, but
Teemo with Ornn passive would be the most horrible thing that could be put into the game, I have to say. Regdor, we're about to start drafts. So I want to get your input on this. If you could build a bear, workshop a champion real quick, something real cheesy. Any ideas that jump into your head on what you'd want to put together?
Yeah,
there's a lot to think about.
I would do Kalissa passive, gives you the move speed when you hit champions. Teemo's Q is his blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kai'Sa W.
Oh.
Hold on. I'm getting there. Kai'Sa W. And then E, I would probably do...
Think on it. We have draft. The players love to bamboozle me and start real quick. We are going to draft for game 1. I'll catch you guys for game 3 when I'm going to have to come in for sand. But until then, have a fun game 1. I'll see you guys then.
Yep.
Woo! Welcome back. What's up, everyone? We're actually here now for draft. I know who would have believed it. And it's actually me and on the desk once again here, joined by Reg. Not actually with our names down the bottom, unfortunately. I'm Reg today, which is really exciting. Nice to meet you, everyone. And we finally have our teams getting into their drafts. This might give you a bit more inspiration, Reg, about what we want to lock in. We've already got a Wukong, Kindred, and Akali being banned out here from the Rhinos, while a Veigar, Belveth, and Jax being banned out here from the Hounds. Some traditional picks and a lot of untraditional bans that I've seen coming out already.
Week 1 in any draft league is just find the best player or perceived best player on the team and ban them to all hell and back, it seems. But Trundle being the B1 pick makes sense. Very strong in the meta right now, and it also de-incentivizes a lot of things on the opposite side. You're not going to be able to go for the Poppy. You're not going to be able to go for the Sejuani. A lot of staple kind of ideas. But you can do a Sivir Lulu, which is probably one of the strongest bot lanes in the meta right now.
I gotta say, Rhinos were real shameless about instantly locking that in. They got the Wukong out so they didn't have to worry too much about some of those early game ganks, and Kindred can be really frustrating as well. So to see the Sivir Lulu get locked in after watching it already last 500 times I've seen it, it's a fun... Oh, there it is. There it is. Look, we don't even need to talk anymore. Immediately, we have our Seraphine locked in, a champion which has been so highly discussed with so many disgusting abilities, and a Senna to come down as well.
And Senna actually has what seemingly is a pretty good lane into Sivir early on. It kind of outranges her and is able to just get down that Q auto and just consistently poke. And the thing that you're already seeing from the side of the Hounds is that Trundle actually makes it really hard to play the game for Sivir. As Sivir is not allowed to sit around and free hit. They're going to get pillared up. They might be able to spell shield it, but they're still slowed. There's no way for them to get consistent DPS unless something like this Jarvan, and hopefully a little bit more frontline, is able to come forward and just kind of gatekeep him away. But as the game progresses, you have long-range engage, long-range attack, from the Seraphine and Senna. Almost put their names together there. So a really good team fight composition thus far from the Hounds.
What I want to see from Rhinos right now, especially with how Wolves is drafting their team, is getting their composition more focused around being able to spread out. Because getting that J4 in, that means they have the Cataclysm to come through. I haven't seen J4 that often right now in a lot of competitive play. So it's nice to see J4 get a bit of a comeback, as Olaf and Gwen are both going to be taken out. Seraphine Ultimate, Senna Root, even Trundle getting on top of the team. There's so many reasons to try and get your team to spread out here, and I'd really like to see Rhinos try to play into that as they go. I mean, they've already removed 2 champions which have ungodly engage. I mean, I've seen in some of the leagues I'm watching Olaf getting just fed and becoming a unstoppable Viking force. It's like a truck with bombs strapped to it driving into your team. It's crazy. And there's a zillion ban out we've been talking about.
Yeah, so somebody's listened to the cast at least a little bit. And I like the Silas ban from the Hounds because the only way, I don't want to say the only way that Rhinos win, but the way that Rhinos have to do is they have to execute the backline. And when you have Jarvan, he's not going to be able to do it solo. So he needs a dive buddy. And they're saving the counter pick for the top side. Azir, not really a diver in themselves. I would love to see like maybe an Ahri blind pick, has a really safe lane, has priority, can be that dive buddy for Jarvan to try to take out either one of the two. But smart enough from the Hounds, they say, we're going to hover it. We may pick it. Yeah, and they're just going to lock that in. So not really too much of a chance for Jarvan to be going backline and try to execute one of these 2 carries in the bot lane.
Oh, and it's looking like an on here, going to our top lane as it's locked in. I am so excited to see Azir. Azir is such a cool champion, and he's so strong right now. The Empress Divide is going to be so good at splitting up the Hounds, because right now they want to try and push the Rhinos together. So if the Hounds are being pushed apart, then it's going to be hard for them to execute what they have already. Because look at the insane amount of AoE knockups and even just charms and stuff we're looking at. I mean, Ornn has Call of the Forge God, has his W. Ari can charm people. Seraphine can charm people. Senna can root people. There's so much insane CC here from the side of the Hounds that means Rhino just has to split up. And it looks like the way they're going to do that is take out a Mordekaiser to try and shut down whoever's looking the scariest on the Hounds.
Yeah, it's not a bad look. It is like a one for one counter into the Ornn and lane. Mordekaiser, one of those like 3 champions like Aatrox and Mordekaiser, and there's one more that actually have a good lane into Ornn and have kill pressure on them. So that's really nice. But to me, looking at Rhinos, there's kind of 2 different thought processes coming right now. Is one, they have to create, like you said, that separation. They want to try to get the Ornn and the Trundle away and create space in between them and the back line for things like the Jarvan to get in, for Mordekaiser to be able to come to his side and just take out a carry. But to be able to do that means that they have to have agency, and really is going to be on the Azir and the Sivir to space appropriately in these fights. Otherwise, they get, like you said, charmed up, knocked up. Hounds feel like what you call the box composition, and that's where you take them and you put them in a box, and then you absolutely beat the crap out of them. That's what the Hounds do really well, just moving front to back with the Ahri as that kind of sideboard threat that can just jump in and hopefully, execute a Lulu, execute a Sivir in these team fights. So, just off the top, I think the Hounds probably in the long game have the better team fight and have the better scaling in the long term to be able to deal with what the Rhinos have put forth.
Yeah, that's. I think what you're saying, just it feels so right, but at the same time, Rhinos is like tickling the spot in my brain, like they got something out there. I mean, their front line is there, but it also feels a lot weaker compared to the Hounds, because Hounds' has ability to completely remove any sense from a team composition by throwing out those charms and those knockups. So the game is really going to rely on whether or not on the side of Rhinos we can see Sivir or Azir get a very substantial lead, being able to try and shut out the bot lane, being able to try and shut out the mid lane, especially where a lot of the damage here comes from the Hounds. If they can remove that, then the charm won't have any value because they're not doing anything. I think that's how this game is going to go. But you're right. For now, the Hounds has a stronger front line, insane CC. If Ahri and Senna can get ahead, Rhinos will find themselves being blown up.
Yeah. And I think the one more point I just want to throw out is I don't think if you're Rhinos, even though it looks like, oh, this is a killer team fight composition, we've got the Sivir, we've got the Azir, this late game scaling, we can just beat the crap out of everybody. I don't know if that's the way that they're going to win this game. This game might be won over side lanes by them, because once again, Mordekaiser, in theory, should be beating out the Ornn, should be able to pressure them in side lane. Azir is eventually just going to outrange and outdamage this Ahri in side lane. So if they can actually, like you said, spread this map apart, do kind of a 1-3-1 style composition and continue to pressure over sides and push wherever the enemy is not, the old Art of War style, then Hounds are kind of in a weird place where they got the prettiest dress on, but nobody wants to take them to the ball because they're not going to fight them in the 5v5. So very different ways to win the game between these two compositions. But, there's only really one way to find out.
Also, there's actually no proper CC on Rhinos. We do have the Mord Ultimate and Cataclysm, but there's no actual button they can press that doesn't have a 100-second cooldown to try and shut somebody down, which is pretty substantial coming here from the side of Rhinos. But on that note, keep the CC in your mind. Keep thinking about taking the Hounds to prom if you feel like it. They do have a pretty dress on, and they do look great. Both teams looking good. Maybe going for prom king and prom queen. We won't be able to find out until we get to the end of our game. And for now, we do have to load into the Rift. So we won't hold you any longer. We're going to jump into a break, and we'll see you guys once we load in. Welcome, everybody, to the first game of our Victoris Draft League. We are starting off the season with Hounds facing up against the Rhinos. And I got to say, from the draft in the first game, we certainly have an interesting game lined up for us. We got that Seraphine, so dangerous we've been talking about. And then a Mordekaiser trying to counter it, get the shutdown, get the crazy Azir damage. We've seen the Sivir-Lulu combo time and time again, as already we have saturation looking for something here on top of Kausif, but it's not going to go anywhere. And I am joined here by the wonderful play-by-play caster, Reg. Wait, yeah, I was so close. I was so close. That was so cool. Reg, my color caster. That was the problem.
Yeah. You know what? It happens to the best of us and the worst of us, so you can decide where you're at. But, just a little bit of vision warfare going on here in the level 1. Luckily, no real deep wards kind of thrown down, so both the junglers' paths still might be a mystery. You can see that early rotation, though. Actually, oh my god, they did get a ward down, and they almost did the best thing in the world, and that is if both of your solo laners stand there while you take it, they get the full XP, so both of them will hit level 2 on the first wave, which can make a big difference in both of these lanes and having that. But it looked like only the top laner for the Rhinos did get that XP from the ward dying. So Apotheo will get that early level 2 into what is already a favored lane for him into the Orin.
That is a massive transition to have right off the bat too. And being able to pick up that first wave is just so essential. I mean, look, Mordekaiser getting level 2 means they get pull, they'll be able to get passive up faster, and they'll be able to put even more pressure on this Ornn, who wants to just chill out in lane, take their time, and try to find the opportunity to build those items before getting into any major combat. In the bot lane, we do have that Seraphine center, which is a lot of hard CC coming out time and time again, and it's going to be pretty hard here to see next winter try and avoid these CC lockdowns.
No, it is going to be really hard. Oh my goodness. Calwep going there for the level 2 gank. Nice little EQ. Going to not burn the flash, it looks like, but, make their presence known.
It's scary. It's close. That's how J4 plays, and that's how Trundle's going to play as well. 2 extremely early aggressive junglers coming through, and at that level 2, at that level 3, they're going to be looking time and time again, and there is the route I'm talking about. Sivir has a spell shield, but they have more than enough spells to try and shut it down here, as we finally see Trundle looking towards this top lane. Mordekaiser getting the only XP. Is it going to be enough? The flash comes through. The pillar's already been used. They're getting on top of Morn. They're going to try to go into the tower, and they finally find the pick, and the first blood here goes on top of the King of the Trolls himself.
Yeah, that's just a wonderfully played 2v1 up on the top side. Good early gank. Not only going to get the flash, is going to get the TP as well. And the first blood is what you love to have in the pocket of a jungler. But Metro going deep here.
A trade off the minion damage as well. The charm comes through. They almost walk away with the nice little charm on top of the Azir. But Azir gets a trade, comes off, dies to the minions.
Yeah, really unfortunate depending on which side you really like here. And you know what? It worked once. Why not make it work again?
Yet again, they are going to shut down Apotheo, not even giving him a chance to farm in lane. And this time, the kill goes in the hands of Draknius.
Oh, and now that counter pick is kind of gone to waste at this point. The wave is right outside Draknius' tower. Is able to just kind of last hit and kind of keep that wave state there, pushed up the place where Mordekaiser doesn't want to be right now. He's 0-2, has no TP, is going to lose experience on this, so that top lane matchup, now even harder to play, is now J4 that I can gank too.
The junglers are not giving this game a break, but it looks like Kausif has walked up too far, and that CC does not stop Hounds from looking for another one. They are dropping it left and right and back and center, as they are now looking for 2 more. The route does not go down. Center either does not find her route, and forcing the other 2 bot laners to back away here from the side of Rhinos.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of that play gone wrong. Like we had talked about, Stubby and Peekaboo have a lot of damage, not even, on items, just on these base starting pieces, able to kind of take Kausif's over jump and convert it into a kill. And this is why I think that the Sivir-Lulu are going to have a hard time, is because, like you said, that overlapping CC, you can only spell shield so much, as well as, hey, my name's Senna. I do a lot of damage, and I don't have to worry about farming right now. So all I can do is just walk up every time that polymorph or that Whimsy is off cooldown for the Lulu and get a free trade in and be able to step away.
And that's what's so good about Senna playing here in the support role. It is truly unstoppable, especially with the amount of CC that we're seeing from the side of Hounds. And don't forget, what's happening right now is that we have all 6 of our teams in our group stages all facing up against each other. And they will play 3 games tonight up against a group of other teams. The top 4 teams from these guys, whoever walk away with the most points by the end of the 5 weeks, will head off into the playoffs. That's the top 4 teams. 2 will be eliminated, and then they'll play off from quarterfinals there. And because of that, that means every single little match matters. Everything you play, because everyone gets so many chances to play their games. If you lose or drop too many games in a row, you are going to get eliminated from this bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything counts. Any given Sunday, every inch matters. Whatever American football reference you'd like to make is available and applicable here. It's something that also comes interesting from these games in the draft league is not everybody actually gets their main role. So like one of the interesting things is Peekaboo by trade is not a support player, but is the support player for the Hounds and is on the Senna. They actually have a lot of ADC games. So this is a chance where you have people in off roles. They're able to experiment a little bit or work towards what their strengths are, as that pillar is going to come down. Zolo Bomber is rooted.
My God. Trundle Pillar is just unbelievable when you're using it as good as Saturation. Coming through for about 3 ganks, and they are 3 for 3 in their attempts.
That's the game on easy mode now. You have what looks to be almost 2... You've got kills on every lane thus far. All of them put into a pretty positive state for the side of the Hounds. And now based off that priority, they can work on this first Drake. This is, the big boy Drake patch. They did get buffed quite a bit, not only in their ability that they give to you, which each individual soul, but also their scaling health. So junglers are going to just end up in a big fight.
They won't let it go silently, though, as the Emperor Divide comes out and forces Saturation out. They don't have the smite anymore, and this looks like a Drake that is all too easy to steal here. J4 picks it up, and now Calcifer is looking to clean up the rest of Hounds. A turnaround has come out of nowhere here over the greed of those Dragons. You weren't lying when they said not only are their buffs stronger, but the Dragons themselves are stronger. Hounds have taken too much damage in the attempt to take this Drake, and it looks like Rhinos have found their room to turn around. Apotheo trying to find room here right now, away from Dracnius, and does find it.
I don't know if he found space. He found a moment of mercy there in the top lane. This is the Forge God is getting pretty strong here, but now Calcep is not in a good spot. Has to smite.
Calcep does again find a moment of mercy, but walking back up again to try and get over the wall. That is a risky play. Still finding room. Keeping distance now, has the rest of the team to back them up, has Dragneel walked up too far, the chump comes through, and a 4v1 had no chance for the poor Ari.
It's not over.
It is not over, as next Winter's going to get picked up now, as Stubby does find a pick, looking for another one, and Calcep somehow, after all the skirmishes, is still clinging onto their life, as finally Rhinos find room under their towers to sit comfortably.
Metro just set up what looked like an amazing play by somehow Girlboss gatekeeping Calcep out of his own base and his own safety and forced him into the river, which turns out to be, bad. It actually ended up getting collapsed on, but the counter kills come back, and now Seraphine's 3-1, accelerated at this point, has almost 1k more gold individually than last winter so far in the game. And while they didn't get the Dragon, it looks like they're, no worse for wear with this 2k gold lead entering into this first Herald being on the Rift.
Man, having a Seraphine this far ahead is so good as well. Trundle has come through with so many assists and so many ganks that he's been able to put their Seraphine unbelievably, as you said, accelerated is the perfect word. Seraphine just has the opportunity to constantly put out CC and has enough damage to put threats on Rhino that they can't walk up on her when they're in lane. They are perma stuck under their tower right now with how far ahead Hounds have found themselves, and it is working so well for them. As Azir tries to turn around, the Emperor's Divide doesn't hit here on the top of Dragneel, as they do find a Spirit Rush to get out of the fight.
Yeah, that's 2 ultimates traded for the price of 1. That is a trade I'll take any day of the week. As like you said, the bot lane side is just painful to watch. It's not a game you like to play, as they continue just to kind of flirt with the tower aggro, continue to lay down damage. And on the top side of the map, though, for all that bot lane pressure, they're going to go for this first Herald and probably get it. Again, Herald, 200 plus local gold. That second one, if you get it, also has more health on it, a little bit beefier of a Shelly to do her favorite thing, and that is take towers. So there's still some ways to play the game as Rhinos who do still have a really great scaling composition.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Shelly has quickly become one of my favorite objectives, as I don't have time to speak. Zolo Bomber, look at that damage from Stubby. That's unbelievable. Immediately getting the root down, getting the charm, and just shutting down the poor Lulu, who barely had a chance to survive here in the face of a 3v1. Now looking towards next Winter, who's decided to try and make their escape from turret. The teleport comes through, the charm does as well, but so does the spell shield and the flash. Look at all the cancellation here coming from Sivir, but it looks like Apotheo now left all alone does find Dragnil. As the Hourglass comes through, the hammer needs to strike down. They find the Ahri and they're looking for their next Winter coming in to try and back up their Mordekaiser, but they are finding room. The flash over the wall, Apotheo. The pull does not find Stubby, but Stubby finds Apotheo as Peekaboo gets the kill. And next Winter, who has been walking back and forth into this fight, now still doesn't know where to go. Stubby is just shutting down this poor Sivir.
And while all this is happening, there's multiple plays going on the rest of the map. Oh no.
Calcep with the Cataclysm shuts down Stubby, and now looks towards Peekaboo with the Conqueror. Prox finally finds room to conquer the Rhinos.
I don't know who wins out on this now. You know, Dodge said, hey, you know, it's VRD. It's a little bit more controlled. It isn't as Fiesta as VAD. But I just watched a top lane play made by Draknis, able to get, I think, 3 tower plates off that top lane tier 1. At the same time, Rhinos did use the Herald in mid, got the first tower of the game, while all of that was going down on the bot side in the extended trade. So at the end of the day, all that maths out to still a 2k gold lead for Hounds. Yep. Now down
extended
tier 1.
Trade? Bro, I don't think that was an extended trade, man. That was an extended massacre. People were just coming in and out, and there were so many kills across the board that a team like Hounds already found room to get ahead. They're going to find themselves being pushed down even further as the Emperor's Divide once again comes through, and it doesn't matter. Pushing Saturation out of the fight will not change anything as the King of the Trolls does get killed. Now it's down to Dragnil to try and break up the fight. Draknius is now covering for their mid laner. They do find their pick. Draknius still turning it around. Calcep wants to find room, but the charms are coming through from the Seraphine, who is just too far ahead. They find the jungler, they get the shutdown, and Hounds further establish their lead.
Yeah, and now they're able to turn down to that Ocean Drake. We love the healing on the Ocean Drake, especially, you know, everybody on this team actually just loves the Ocean Drake. Here, as it's not really able to be contested. They might try to run back out on the map, but they're missing those key things. That wombo combo-esque that they were looking for is not to be had right now. And Hounds honestly have a pretty strong hold on the game. With just a few minutes until the Herald comes up again, they might be able to make that play for that second Herald, that beefier Herald, as Apotheo is meeting a beefy troll.
I was about to be scared, man. These Trundle Pillars have been... Trundle Pillar is actually one of the best abilities in the game. I'm telling you. There's something about it. The ability to bring a obstacle up out of the ground wherever you want is unbelievable. It's so good. It's so good.
It's not as cool as a Nivea wall, but I'll give you that. Imagine if a Nivea wall
just bigger, man. But...
Yeah. Bigger's always better. That's what I got told.
Oh, man. Okay, look, man. Bigger isn't always better. You watch Star Wars, right? Yeah, size matters not, as Master Yoda says, and that does go for both teams. I mean, look at Lulu. She's small, she's little, she's one of the greatest supports in the game right now. It goes either way.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, but Zolo Bomber sadly is 1-2-6 right now, while Senna, with a very large gun, is 6-2-2. This game is definitely, like I said, in the Hounds' direction at the moment. The solo laners have, even though for a 1-4 Ahri, able to do a lot of work now, has the Everfrost, is going to look like that to try to get these engages, is going to really be a catch-style champion. This build doesn't allow her to 100-0 people in one spell rotation, but it is really good for that CC uptime.
Okay, I've got Dog sees the Postman CC on me right now. Almost got shut down as the Call of the Forge God does find Apotheo. And finally, Dracnius, who was supposed to be shut down here in the face of Apotheus, finally gets the trade against Elena, who was supposed to be their counter, supposed to shut them down here. As Saturation wants to turn it around against the enemy jungler. Azir trying to find room, does manage to protect their jungler, and Calcep will not fall for the charms of Ari, and instead turn it right back around to the lady with the big gun. The Empress survived into the tower, but room is found very quickly. Trundle drops his Ice 4, and despite being shoved out of position, despite being moved out of the way, he still manages to save his mid laner, and Seraphine's help comes through.
Yeah, and where we're at right now is the the composition coming online. You guys see what happens when you get the J4 into the... Well, my brain just died there for a second. We'll try that again. When you get the Cataclysm into the Emperor's Divide, how much lockdown that has on these carries and gives that compositional like dive buddy that you need, that we talked about, to be able to burn down the bot lane. But Metro Dragon, like it was mentioned, was able to get away. Just a little interesting note here is that Saturation did buy the Quicksilver Sash. It says, I'm not going to be a part of Mordekaiser's game here, and I refuse to be in the Shadow Realm.
I gotta say, dog seeing the Postman debuff is a little crazy, man. That dog went crazy. Apologies for any barking we had in the background there. But now it gives me room to take a step back and look at the game here. Right now, never mind. We don't even have a moment as Calcep now getting locked on by the enemy jungler. Once again, Apotheo wants to make room here. Still has the ultimate in case they're put in a bad spot. Does try to get Peekaboo. Peekaboo does not let it happen. Pillar comes through. Dragnil wants to keep this fight going, but it isn't going to find more time to tick. Now we have our bot lane looking to make a move here. Zulumba wants to prove that size does not matter and starts turning around. The charm comes through and already isolating the poor jungler who tried to make such an impact at the start of the game. The shutdown is through and no one else can find a gap. Apotheo now jumped on by the rest of Hounds. The charm once again, and they are falling for too many tricks as Dragnil barely escapes the fight. And Apotheo is once again going to get slain, furthering Hound's lead.
And just like we talked about, or I called out earlier, was using this strength and that ability to get these picks by Metro to turn around and convert this into the second Herald. Ornn's been doing what Ornn likes to do. I always say Ornn cares about one stat in this game, one stat alone, and that's called experience. They've been sitting down in the bot lane, able to get that tier 1, and just continue to get on levels to hand out those beautiful ornaments, and now Shelly's in their pocket as well. So with just a little bit of time, 35 seconds on the Drake, as they're coming back out onto the map, they get kind of the choice to say, hey, we're going to pressure you off this objective through sheer force of will, as opposed to having the tempo and timing on the map to be able to get first control of the pit.
I gotta say, as I was saying earlier, if we finally have a room to speak in this blood... Okay, never mind. If we do find room to speak in this bloodthirsty game, both teams have been continually looking for fights time and time again. And it really is Hounds just instigating it. They have so much engage. It's crazy. So much shutdown, and they are looking for it again and again. And having the Rift Herald in their hands just makes everything so much more dangerous. When I was watching the Rift Herald being dropped down in a live match, it's possibly one of the greatest things you can witness. It's like the whole crowd goes, oh, hey, when it charges. And it's so much fun. As a charge from the Call of the Forge God is going to be one that comes through. The charm denies the push, and it's a huge turnaround here from the Rhinos. They find a massive, massive knockdown here on Dragnil as more goes down. Apotheo is in a 1v1 against Saturation up the top. Lobum free hitting, finding room. The charm comes down again, forcing Dragnil to go golden. And as they come into that shine, they so go down themselves. Azir trying to look for more shutdowns as Peekaboo gets a cheeky little pick here on the Lord of Darkness themselves. They find the gap. The Dragon yet to be taken, but yet to be under pressure here by the Hounds as they've already lost 3 members.
Yeah, and the retake could be impossible. It may look like Saturation may try to go for a flash play as we do get the TP coming in here. Stubby has arrived.
Saturation wants to go in. The pillar's been used. The steal comes through, and they continue this fight. Calcep over the wall. Saturation does not stop running it down, but realizes, hey guys, we got the Dragon. Let's leave it at that.
That analytically, the only thing I can call that is a little bit of a jungle diff. Here, Saturation able to get into the pit and get the bite, smite, steal. Very hard to stop Trundle from doing so, unless you're willing to, kill him first. That's your only real choice. And honestly enough, that last fight, Hounds not able to find the wombos and the combos. The Call of the Forge God and the Encore just basically kind of both went sideward. And based off of that fact, there was no CC holding down the Rhinos that allowed Lobum to get in with the Emperor's Divide, and then Next Winter did what Sivir does best, and that's right click.
Uh-oh. Dracling us up a bit too far as they, once again, Rhino need more kills. They want more shutdowns. Dracnius just can't get away. Despite being unstoppable with the W, it isn't going to give them room. But Saturation instead, oh my god, a flash forward here from Winterer means a double kill for the Sivir. And that's actually Sivir's first 2 kills of the game, putting themselves even further than they already were. And they are the ones that need to scale. We are 20 minutes in. They are looking towards the Baron. Rhinos are down by about 1,000 gold. And if Sivir can be the one to scale and get stronger, then I think Rhinos will be able to find very, very strong footing in this game.
And they are able to get it, though, as Stubby, maybe not the Encore you wanted to play today.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wrong place to play music, buddy. Definitely not in the middle of the enemy team. Does not find anything here. As Peekaboo is still looking, and this time realizes that the fight isn't for them. Yeah, that's one way to get a kill.
That's the first time I've ever seen the kill just be from the flag and not the drag.
Yeah.
That feels bad. But Rhinos continue to find picks. They continue to be able to use this overlapping CC on the champions caught out of position, like we saw with Dracnius there. And then it's just, free game at that point. It's the game on easy mode. When your champion's not allowed to move, it's really hard to win a fight. And just continuing to catch these guys in these pockets of onesies and twosies as the Hounds are without a pact. And that equals this, first Baron that should be used, like we talked about in that 1-3-1, playing over side lane at this point and getting some of the standing gold off the map. There's still a tier 1, all the tier 2s. So a lot of way to move what is now an even gold lead between the two of them and kind of push it more to the Rhino side.
And these guys just want to brawl. Apotheo forced a flash too early, and the mace in their hands is not going to find much use. As the Cataclysm here from Cowsep now trying to revenge their teammate Peekaboo still finds room, and these charms have been coming through non-stop. They do find a room to avenge, but they also get taken down themselves. Polymorph here, Dracnius dashes in, and now the fight is turning. Winterer now does not get the shutdown of Dracnius. Instead, Dracnius turns it around on the other side of the wall. An Empress Divide has divided all of the Hounds to where they've been massacred, and the other side where they also get massacred, as Hounds have managed to split up the rift into their control.
And that is what you call a bona fide ace here for the Rhinos, able to get down this tier 3 in the mid lane. I would love to see them not take the Nexus, but instead, move down here to the top side to that tier 2. Not the Nexus, the inhibitor. I would love to see somebody take the Nexus at some point, but the early inhibitor is not what you want to give to this scaling composition. Just continue to get this gold off the map. Now spiking up there to the 2K gold side as Peekaboo trying to find some room to work to get Apotheo away. Said, I do not want you to take the tower. And they're just going to be able to reset off of this. A lot of standing gold that you see right there, 1,700 in Lobum's pocket that he was just able to spend. Now 7, 3, and 10 on this Azir that seems to be the one who's able to turn these fights with some flashy plays and Emperor's Divides.
That's a lot of money on Jarvan and Azir. They both have 11,000 gold to their name. Cowsip tries to get up the pillar, but the root's going to come down instead. And the guy who has been engaging all these fights time and time again seems to get caught. The Cataclysm knocks up walls, but it might make for a better escape here for the side of the Hounds. They are trying to break this fight off, but Rhino will not let their teammate go unavenged. The Call of the Forge God does not get a chance to turn around here, as Dracnius now, stuck in the Shadow Realm, flashes over to the Chooks and finds their escape, but leaves their team to the Dragons. Now Apotheo trying to come back into it, but Hounds do not want to mess with the Rhinos, knowing how far ahead they are.
Now the good news for the Hounds is they are able to get the pick and burn the Cataclysm as well as the Wild Growth leading into this Drake. This Drake would put them on Soul Point, and now they've kind of got the control with Cowsep just now coming back onto the map.
Apotheo blown up like a damn bouncy castle as the Emperor's Divide comes through just to make more room, and that's all they're going to find in exchange for the dragon.
Yeah, but this is what the Hounds want, to be able to burn these key ultimate abilities and then be able to break off and sort of re-engage using the Call of the Forge God as an anti-engage tool as opposed to the primary form of engage is a really smart play that we were seeing there from Dracnius. So much so that the Death Realm had to be used to kind of break that play up, but it still ended with 1 kill, and now in this case 2 for the Drake. Now being on Soul Point, you got to think, what now? We don't have an Infinity Edge on next winter yet. We got a little bit more time until they're considered online and in the game. Everything's on this Azir to make something happen for the Rhinos.
It really is. Look, Lobum needs to free hit. Say it with me. Lobum needs to free hit. That's what we're looking for, everyone. Okay? Lobum has the ability to just absolutely blow up anybody on the side of Hounds. Hounds is a very equally distributed kill count here, and that means that people like Stubby, people like Dragna, they have kills. They're not unkillable. There is a stopwatch. There is a Leandri's. You know, people are looking to get a bit more health, but if Lobum can find room to just stay out of the fight, and the peel is pretty good. They have that Lulu to be able to make them grow stronger, get that wild growth, get Kalsuf to further get the Cataclysm down. Apotheo can take out the most dangerous threats with the ultimate. If Lobum can find room, that's exactly how they're going to win the game. And Rhinos know this, and they need to play around it.
100% agree. That is the name of the game. Get the Birdman free hit and put some respect on his name, as they would say. And
why isn't the Birdman flying? It shouldn't be that hard, right? Just like flap your wings.
You know what? That's beyond me. If there was a way to fly in America, we would definitely have subsidized it by now. I'm sorry, we capitalized it by now. But in the context of the game, it is all around this Azir being able to create. And this choke point right here is an excellent place where they can fight because they can cut off the advance of the Hounds and start to single them out. As you see, Lobum is going to go ahead and throw up the tower here.
There's the pillar on top of the person who does not want to get jumped on. The stopwatch comes through, locking saturation inside that cage made out of earth as Forge God once again gets denied. One of these ultimates from Lobum. They have been unbelievable, but the Hounds are still looking, and they are not looking strong enough. They have completely wiped out Rhino here, and that is all they need. A massive double kill here on Peekaboo, shutting out the Rhinos with a massive ace.
That was a fist fight and a half there from the Hounds and the Rhinos here, all underneath the setting sun of that Azir tower. And just the sheer force of will that is saturation, now 5, 5, and 13, did so much work. As you can just see, they just don't die. They just get so much healing. And with that Frostfire Gauntlet as well as the QSS, there's not too much you can do to slow them down or stop them along the way, as that is going to be the big purple worm on all 5 members. Metro getting a bit of a push here in the top lane, and then they really get to play just 4-1. They get to off this reset, go ahead. We see the ornaments coming through, come back on the map a little bit stronger with that wave pushing on the top side of the map, and look towards this mid-tier 2 and bot side to try to start getting to the point of breaking down the base of the Rhinos and start closing out this game.
Yeah, well, I really thought that Lobum came through with a huge ultimate there. We've been seeing a lot of them come through, and I thought the fight was going to turn there, but you are so on point when you're talking about this healing. I see the Emperor's Divide come through. I'm like, oh, no way! You know, saturation being pushed out of the way. Dracnius can't hit the ram that's coming his way. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. The Divide comes through, and it just absolutely shuts them out. And even though it did, Hounds were like, oh, yeah, it's all right. We just heal. We're good. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. And we need some anti-heal coming here from the side of Rhinos.
I think the anti-heal should have been about 10 minutes ago with, a little bit more vigor, if you will, because that's now a Spirit Visage on saturation. He is saturated with health and healing, and there's not too much you can do to stop him, as they're going to continue to play on these 2 waves between bot and mid. And try to catch people out in the rotation, as they only have a little bit longer until Soul Point is up for the side of the Hounds. As you can see, the Cataclysm was burned there.
But so was Peekaboo's Flash. Kalsuf is so trigger happy. I swear, man, he's got his finger hovering over R. He's actually just watching and waiting for an opportunity to smash the key down. And instead, it's going to be Hounds who want to be the ones looking for the fight here. Again, the ram actually gets hit this time, but they can't find their room to go in. Rhinos, this time, they're going to be the ones to try and stop this fight. Senna comes through with a massive shot. And it is going to get a huge heal through, which is what they're looking for. The Empress Divide means Lobum gets to stay alive a little bit longer and single out Apotheo, sacrificing Mordekaiser for the life of the Birdman. Now looking for a back, and they want to get out of this. But that means they're giving up the Cloud Soul here to the side of Hounds.
Hey, sometimes you gotta lose to know how to win, as a great man Aerosmith once said. And in that fight, that was all about Metro Dragon finding that engage, really threading the needle to get onto Lobum to make them burn the stasis, actually using the Emperor's Divide defensively to get over the wall into that blue buff area to try to survive. And the whole time, the rest of their team is just kind of being like, kind of just killed off, for lack of better terms, and they're able to pick up not only the soul, but they're able to just continue to, that feels bad.
Yeah, just a little bit. Man, I've got to say that Lobum actually just sacrificed Apotheo to the gods, man. The Emperor's Divide meant that he got to stay alive, but Mordekaiser, unfortunately, was on the wrong side of the shove, and that's what comes through sometimes with a lot of draft games. I don't doubt these teams have good coordination and they're learning how to play and talk with each other, but at the same time, you're not used to positioning of where people are, and it might cause some conflict in the mental of a team, being able to sacrifice another player, even though it's more important for Lobum to stay alive as the damage dealer. I wonder how that went down.
It was probably really quiet, and then somebody went, damn, that hurt. Sadly, in the beginning parts of the draft, it's like you said, I hate to say it, they're not playing like a team yet. They're still in a very getting to know each other period of not only what champions do you want to play and how do you see the meta, but additionally, how are we going to play the game itself? You can see at least Rhinos has that homogeny in a scaling comp with protection for Lobum for next winter, but it's just being met with the sheer tenacity of saturation and the tactical, precision work of Metro Dragon at the moment that is just finding the carries, putting them in a horrible position where it's either you choose death or you choose retreat, or maybe both in some cases. And they're able to continually move this gold lead up, now have the soul point, now have control of this game.
Rhino, please buy anti-heal. Please. I'm checking my watch. These guys were, if you somehow slipped from your memory, about 5-10 minutes ago, Rhino was actually in the lead of this game. And then somehow they keep losing fights. We have discussed exactly why and exactly how Rhino can bring it back. But there is going to be a lot of conflict again, because the people who are the biggest damage dealers on the team, there's a Call of Forge God, and they're going to give a cheeky little shutdown here on Winter, who is up just a bit too far trying to get some CS. Oh my god, they found Lobum! And that is they don't find the shutdown just yet as the Wild Growth comes through. A flash away with the Divide isn't going to be enough as Metro Dragon comes through with that spear, rebounding and shutting out the Birdman.
Yeah, that was, in case you were not keeping track at home, that was indeed the 2 carries of the Rhinos taken out in quick succession there. And they don't even need a wave at this point. Saturation is just going to go underneath the tower and just... he just takes it. No care in the world. And now it's going to be Draken's turn.
Okay. Is that the other tower? Yo! Rhino, you got some damage there? They're struggling to find any room here as Kalsup tries to find something and gets shut out as the second tower is going to go down, as well as the Mordekaiser. Zolo Bomber wants to make distance but can't find it, and Winter comes through with the respawn but can't do anything to push Hounds out of it as they get on top of this Nexus and they find their first win in the first game of our Victoris draft series.
That just makes me want to go like, "Ow!" or something for the Hounds here. My goodness, they stuck together as a team. They were that homogenous, just destructive path. And yeah, healing's pretty OP, ladies and gentlemen. When you have the CEO of Riot Games, Seraphine, in the game, alongside that Trundle, my goodness.
I mean, I don't know. We were talking about that pregame. What's that? I mean, if the Rhinos won, you'd be like, Wow. What was the sound they made?
That was all Infinite. I cannot confirm or deny what noise a rhino makes, nor would I attempt.
Infinite, can you give me the sound so I can just do it again?
As the producer, I will chime in here. I've gone live to where the stream can hear me. I believe it was something along the lines of "whomp" or something like that. Is that nice?
Yeah. It sounds like bad jazz. Got it.
Is that what that sound is? I'm not so sure on that one, but boys, I've been itching to come in here and just say Seraphine OP, Senna OP. Both of those champions have healing in their kit. Neither of those champs went healing builds exclusively. Like they both went basically full damage. And Rhinos Hounds just never died in those later fights.
Yeah.
It was a problem.
Yeah, they didn't die. I'm saying anti-heal. But they, in fact, could not anti-heal. I'm sorry if I had a bit of a fuzzy there. I think something happened on mic. Anyways, they just found room to heal every single time. Look, you get heal from Senna, you get heal here from Seraphine, and even Drachnius, who just has like inherent healing from killing people. It happens again and again and again. It's disgusting, man.
No, absolutely. Go ahead, Infinite.
It was gross. That's all I have to say. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just nerf Seraphine out of the game. I'm sick of seeing this champion.
So something that I'll say that is quite interesting. Number one, the Hounds came in with a clear and consistent game plan. They faltered a little bit in the mid game as the Rhinos found those breakpoints, found room for Lobum to be able to get in there and do damage. But Hounds just played really well, and I think this bot lane of Stubby and Peekaboo is two names we're going to hear consistently because they played the trades very well. You could see in the damage share right up there towards the top of it in the grand scheme of things. 36,000 damage out of Senna is pretty nice. And what's also wild about her, maybe some people don't know this, is actually her most healing scales off of her Q is off of lethality. She's one of the few champions that scale with lethality, so she gets the incentive to buy full damage and heal better because of it. And if that is not if that's not fantasy like lore in and of itself, I hurt people and it makes me stronger. Then there you go, Senna and Peekaboo were the Highlander of this game.
Well, there you have it for the game one sum up from Sand and Regdor. Buy anti-heal because Senna will edge you to death with lethality builds. Great game coming on out from Hounds here. We are going to throw it to a quick break. We're going to get Shibby in here for game number 2 coming on up. That is going to be Bears and Wolves, it does look like. So stay tuned. We shall return in just a few. And hello, everyone. We are back on the desk for the Victoris Rivals Draft. I am not Quicksand. I'm Infinite Dodge. Like I said, we had to shuffle some things around, get some people in, but we are joined by Shibby doing the color casting for games 2 and 3. Regdor moving from the color casting duties, being very flexible, doing play-by-play here tonight, so I don't have to triple flex all through various roles. You're saving me a lot of labor, buddy. I do appreciate it. Shibby, welcome to the cast, my friend. How are you feeling? How was your day at work? You ready for some exciting League of Legends?
I couldn't wait to get out of work sooner. I drove over here. I violated some laws, speed limits, carpool lanes, just to try to get here as fast as possible. But I was still late. It doesn't matter because California sucks sometimes, all the time.
Ain't that the truth?
As somebody who just moved from the Midwest to California, 10 miles means something completely different here than in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, 10 miles is like, 10, 12 minutes. 10 miles in California is 40 minutes.
Oh, it's easily. And that's pretty much exactly what it was, right? 45 minutes, and break all the laws you want, you still won't get in here fast enough. But I'm excited for VRD week 1. I caught most of the game of game 1 here. I'm super excited for game 2. A lot of these guys we recognize, right? JDK, Amistan, these guys. JDK got the nickname J Double Kill in the playoffs because this guy was popping off last split and was just going on a tear. We've got some new people like Rebecca and not a Kate and all these other players here, but really the mix of the draft and VRD is what I'm super excited about. And a lot of these players, they're kind of like the super team matchups, or some of these players that wanted to play together last split couldn't because of how the draft function works, and now I'll kind of want to see these VRD super teams coming up.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, do you think that you, I don't know much about the players here because I'm just a guest. Would you draft somebody named Not a Kate OTP just to at least draw a Caitlyn ban every game?
Oh, I would draft 5 one-tricks just to draw 5 bans, right? I mean, how crazy is that? If you draft 5 one-tricks in each and every role, if you're the other team, you don't ban all 5 of them, then you're pretty much trolling at that point. How much worse could they be on their second best champion? That's the real question.
Coming from a one trick, much worse. I will tell you that. You'd much rather have my GP than any of my other champions coming on through. But yeah, Shibby, I'm new to VRD. Regdor is a guest. Were you here for the last split? Are you sort of our resident guru of VRD, or are you new to this league as well?
I wouldn't say I'm a resident guru. I actually joined VRD last split. Was my first split. I was with Salt, long-time VRD player and obviously caster now. So Salt is the one that's been here a while, and so he kind of carries that. But yeah, I mean I'm familiar with a lot of these guys. I would say obviously there's new faces, but there's a lot of players here that were on different teams last split. A lot of players that made first team, second team, all pro that were from different teams that you could kind of shadow box and say, man, what if these guys were on the same team, right? What if these people were together? How strong would they be? And so obviously the meta has changed since then. We've had the durability patch. Udyr has come out. I believe he's disabled until week 2 of VRD. You've got a lot of other changes. Yeah, I know. It's insane, right? We've also got the 12.18 changes, I believe, coming in tomorrow. So a lot of shakeups are happening within VRD. So even some of these dream rosters and dream players that finally get to play together, it might just not click. And like you mentioned, I believe, Regdar, you said that a lot of these players are still in their week 1 woes. They're the growing pains, right? And some teams just stay in that form, unfortunately, because they never get the synergy. They never get to be together, and they just never click, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon I'll be new to observing here. This is my first time in one of the draft leagues as opposed to one of the pre-made leagues, so definitely looking forward to seeing that unfold from my more behind-the-scenes role as the weeks go on. Hopefully have to do less of the filling in on the hosting here, as we are just waiting for one last player to file on into the lobby so we can get this draft started. Shibby, I grilled Regdor and Sand in the pre-show about what they've been playing, what they expect to see based off pro meta. You have any strong feelings about champions you want to see picked up here in our upcoming game between Grizzlies and Wolves?
I mean, when we saw it last game, right? We've been kind of seeing it across the board in pro play. Things like Seraphine, the Senna fasting lanes are coming back into play, right? If you guys watched LEC last week, the fasting Senna is just so strong at the moment. If you can hit that, 60 to 90 souls at the 20-minute mark, I mean, that's where you can really start seeing her shine. And we saw it, like you said, last game. Other picks, obviously, Udir's banned right now. I think there's some merit to a lot of these mid lane picks, right? Things like Silas, things like Seraphine, being flexed as well. Top lane has a lot of cool picks with the Ornn, the Gangplank, Camille. You can go Gwen. Like the meta has been slowly changing. I think jungle is unfortunately, though my favorite role, it's kind of been stagnant as of late, right? Poppy is still strong. Wukong is still strong. Trundle. We've been kind of seeing all the same jungle picks, even with the patches coming in and making them weaker. Diana is somebody I haven't seen picked up yet in either the pro leagues or VRD, mostly because she's a very farm, feast or famine kind of champion where if you shut her down early, it becomes really hard to get going on her. But if she gets those 1-2 kills, if she gets the farm lead on you, that Sunfire into Nashor's Tooth build is just absolutely oppressive.
Shibby just unlocked a core memory for me, and that's something that I'm excited to see, and hopefully will. It's shown up a little bit in VAD, not as much in pro play, but that is the AP junglers. That is the Diana, that is the Fiddlesticks, most notably, that have come back around. But we're so used to playing these AP solo lanes and tank top laners that they haven't given a chance for AP junglers to shine. So I'm really hoping to see some AD mid laners to help make up for it, the Renekton, the Akshan, maybe even a Tristana here and there, to help give way for some of these AP picks.
I think it's gotten really hard since the Lucian mini rework that was supposed to push him out of solo lanes to make those kinds of compositions work as much, but there's always Diana as well, right? So that's something I would like to see for sure come out from some of these teams, especially because we've talked about, synergy issues coming on through maybe in draft. That's a very easy to execute comp while you're still finding your sea legs, as these teams have done it to me once again, guys. They have gone ahead and started off the draft lickety split. They are already flying through, so I'm going to throw you guys over. I will see you after the game. Have fun with this one as we just get that loaded in. I shall return.
Dodge, thank you as always. And like you said, we are fast into the draft. We already got Swain and Sivir out the door, as well as Ivern and Lilia, which is two names I didn't think I'd say today. Shibby, what's up with that?
I mean, they're doing their research, right? They're targeting Rebecca, they're targeting Bleeding Wolves into the Lilia, the Ivern. You see the Soraka getting banned out as well. I mean, all very strong picks. Soraka is seen as an answer to some of these more tanky compositions where the fights last longer. She heals more. She stays relatively safe. She can kind of be seen as a counter to Vi because you silence the moment she goes in, and then she's trapped there. She can't move, and then you kill her immediately. So a lot of solid bans here. Some are more target bans. Some are more just standard meta bans like the Sivir, like the Seraphine. Don't want to see that in there. You want to keep bot lane kind of as least oppressive as possible. I want to see some Draven in here now. And now we get the B1 from Grizzlies, right? A lot of strong stuff ready to go, right? You have the Draven. You have the Callista. They're going to get Caitlyn. Can't say I'm surprised, but at the same time, Wolves, you should have known this. Like, maybe ban it out. I don't know.
You know what? I feel like I didn't have to look at an OP.GG to decide that Caitlyn was probably a good ban. They do feel as though they can play into it, though. It's important to note Caitlyn did just get that mini buff on her headshot damage. Pretty big piece, as well as her ult now having that crit scaling to it as well to help give it a little bit more oomph to that ace in the hole. But Ashe, well, I was going to say Ashe could be a flex pick, but we're already hovering a Bard, so maybe it's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ashe support has been like creeping up in solo queue popularity, right? She's just better, in my opinion. Actually, she's just better in that role. She provides long range engage, really low cooldown. You can literally just slang that arrow as many times as you want. You can throw it top, throw it mid. It's like a 40 to 30 second cooldown. If you get the hunter, if you get the ultimate hunter stacks off of it, if you go that CDR build, right, it becomes like 25 seconds. So you kind of have almost an instantaneous engage. Really good way to blow summoners. But they're going to go with the Ashe Bard. Zac is a really nice pick. It's pretty much you either flash or you die if you're Ashe. Like that's pretty much it, right? Zac gets the E on you. You have no mobility. I doubt she's going to build something like the Gale Force. She's going to have to go Kraken Slayer or even Immortal Shield Bow here. So I like the pick. Can be kind of slow in the jungle. So I expect Wolves to come out with something that's heavy farming that can get the farm lead on Zach, and instead of trying to match him 1-for-1, just out farm him and outpace him in the CS.
No, absolutely, and that is going to be the key point here, is that we have an immobile carry as well as a Bard who has some mobility to him, but can get locked down as well. Most likely a pushing lane on the bottom side of that for the Grizzlies, which puts Zach in a great position to be able to go for some early dives, especially when you have a Zilean on your side. We were talking about before you got here. Zilean's pretty OP.
Yeah, it seems like teams don't really know how to lane into him, whether, it's still mystery whether he's going support or mid here. Support Zilean tends to go Emax, and then obviously mid Zilean tends to go Qmax. So we can see kind of the flexibility that Grizzlies have. Very, very strong support, right? In inside laning can be kind of hard to land those ultimates, or sorry, those bombs, but you have the safety of the ultimate, you have the safety of the E when you max it. It's a 99% slow, I believe, right? It makes your AD carries super fast, allows them to kite, you can empower one of your melee carries if you have something like a Fiora or an Aatrox with the Zilean E onto them. It becomes very, very scary. So Zilean is a catalyst, somebody that empowers other people, but it really heavily relies on your other lanes winning out, because you're not going to be ganking for it, and you're not going to be really counter ganking for it either.
Yeah, and it looks like in the second round of bans, a lot of target towards the mid lane. I don't know what it is about Victoris, but these mid laners love to play Vel'Koz with that giant disintegration ray. But not today. We're not going to be able to see it. And that is a Veigar answer already. Really great control mage here. It's been piping up in the meta a bit to stop these comps that just want to run at you with that giant baby cage.
Yeah, and they could going for the Predator variant or the Comet variant. There's a lot of different ways you could build this Veigar. I like the Anivia counterpick into it. Anivia tends to try to outrange with the R. You can poke away with the Q, get the stun off, right? Both of these champions not super mobile. Can be difficult for Anivia to get out of the cage, right? If she steps even a hair out of misplace, Olaf can come running in. You go into the cage. Anivia either has to flash out or just kind of take the beating and take the burst. But if you're playing it right, you can throw the Q out, you can stun them, you can have your R ready, and your R generally tends to outrange. You're not really looking to trade as much as you're just looking to shove the wave into Veigar as you look to roam or get a better back off. And Jarvan being rounded out with this composition as their jungle pick, really nice into Olaf. Olaf generally tends to take Ghost, so if you baby cage him and then EQ out, he's effectively useless.
So I'm doing a little bit of math here. Grizzlies either have a Zac support or Zac top, or a Nivea support and Jarvan in a solo lane. But they definitely have something atypical, and it looks like it's going to be the J4 support. That is what I'm being told on the headphones here. J4 support. Oh, that wasn't real. I'm being baited. So, Shibby, you tell me, what do you think's going where?
So my best guess is that it's definitely Caitlyn AD carry, right? I'm just throwing out there, using my big brain here. I would say it's probably into Cho'Gath. They can swap it, but I think Zac top does really well into Cho'Gath, right? You just kind of poke them out with the W. You walk up to the wave W and walk back out. Jarvan as well, much better in the jungle, has a lot more power early on. It's going to be Zilean support for sure. Zilean Kate, super long range, super annoying, especially into something like Ashe Bard. But that's Zac and Jarvan. Those can be changed, between jungle and top, and whoever wants that matchup, can take it. Whoever wants that champion. But Cho'Gath, on the side of Wolves, it's double AP composition, but I'm assuming Cho'Gath is going to go for that kind of more tankier build here, because he's pretty much the only one that can go that build, right? Olaf's going to go for more of a bruiser fighter build. Obviously, Veigar and Ashe are going to go damage, and Bard tends to build a little weird. He's not a complete tank, nor is he a complete AP carry. He kind of goes for that utility where he can go things like the Imperial Mandate into rapid fire cannon, into the Dead Man's Plate, and just be an overall really annoying champion, but he doesn't really he's not really a tank, not really a damage threat. He's just kind of a fly on the wall, not on the wall, a fly around your face, or a mosquito just being a super annoying.
No, yeah, definitely Bard's known. A lot of my friends that play him just state that Bard is there to annoy you, make you burn cooldowns, and then walk away laughing no matter what.
Yep.
And that's really great into this composition. And I gotta say that Wolves finally rounding out with the Cho'Gath. This just looks like an Olaf comp. you have a utility ADC, you have this mid laner that is scaling but is known for utility until they get those, stacks up and are able to start one-shotting folks. And then you have this Cho'Gath here to just handhold alongside the Olaf and run at the Grizzlies. And it sounds like a pretty good game plan, honestly. Olaf, since the nerfs, pushed more back towards the jungle and is able to power farm really efficiently. And I think faster, if my memory serves me, than the Jarvan. So should have a little bit of an advantage there in the early game to try to get online.
Oh, he's absolutely going to. He's absolutely going to clear faster than the Zach or the Jarvan. Draft is being remade. In-game draft. Yeah, in-game draft is being remade. Right? Stuff happens. It's week 1. Get the jitters out the way. You're shaking. You're trembling into your boots right now. I get it, guys. But it's week 1. I'll excuse it for now. If we get into week 4 and week 5 and this stuff is still happening, I'm gonna be kind of pissed. I'm not gonna lie. You guys should be having this down pat.
Shibby, let me tell you, this is my my humble brag moment as a referee at the professional level. Getting players into a draft room, into a customs lobby, and starting the game is just as hard at every level. And I'll publicly shame every one of these VRD players for not remembering it goes 3 bans and then 1 pick and then 2 picks and then 2 picks and then 1 pick and then bans again. Like, come on, guys, you should know better at this point. So shame on you all. But what's not a shame is this matchup. This is week 1. We've talked so much about how building and developing synergy and understanding how they want to play the games as these are draft teams. Which one do you feel like has the easier level of execution? Which one's the one that's just simple press R and go?
I love that. I love that phrase, Ragdoll. I love that term. The level, the ease of execution. When you get down to these ranks, even at the higher level of play, right? Even if you get down to the semi-amateur, pro, semi-pro level, ease of execution can really allow teams to. I'm not going to say sneak wins, but really pick up some early wins going into, some of these very early weeks, right? Those wins that really matter when it comes to seeding or playoffs and stuff like that. If you try to play something complicated week 1, if you try to play something that's super complex, that knife's on an edge kind of composition, you are setting yourself up for doom. And so ease of execution, I mean, it's pretty clear, right? Grizzlies, yeah, they have a pretty solid composition. It's Zach ease, and if that doesn't work, Jarvan EQs, and then you have a long-range AP carry, you have a long-range Caitlyn. The Zach and the Jarvan provide space for them so that they can actually fight front to back, kind of. You also have Zilean either speeding up your melee carries. You have Zilean speeding up one of your ranged carries, right, to get out of sticky situations. Wolves definitely have it on them to kind of counter that engage, and it's going to be really important how this Veigar uses his cage, whether he saves it for the engage or uses it as a counter engage, or how Bard is going to be setting up his team to either engage onto somebody like the Caitlyn or the Neve, who is very low mobility, or if he's going to be using his ultimate to stuff Zach and Jarvan completely out of these fights, because you can put them into stasis and then focus the other 3 members. So I would say Wolves have it on them to really trying to react and kind of play. And I think Grizzlies, they have a very clear go button. If you see Zach start charging up the E, Jarvan's going to be running at you. Zilean's going to be speeding one of his carries up, and that they're going to be looking for a fight. It's just, how are Wolves going to react to that? They have the tools. They have silence, stun, stasis, stuns. They have everything. And even with Olaf, he can just kind of run through all of that. So will be really interesting.
No, absolutely. It goes down to the difference of who has good hands and who has good reaction skills here, as it is going to be the Grizzlies versus the Wolves. Luckily, the players got all their collective brain cells together. We made it through the draft. We're going to go to a quick break to get through the spectator delay, and then we'll be back on the Rift. We'll see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back onto the Rift. This is your second game of the VRD, and it's actually going to be the Grizzlies and the Wolves with a nice little level 1 going on here. All 5 members running down on the bottom side here. Have to see if they find crit chance. It looks like the Time Master will be able to survive another day. They will drop that ward down here on the red buff just to see if they stick around, but they will also get down that ward as well. So be able to capture out that level 1 play from them.
Yeah, it looks like Hounds also get some level 1 vision down for themselves. They ward down pretty much the entrance to red buff. They get the entrance to Raptors pretty much there. Both these teams, and I say this right now, both these teams should know where the junglers are starting, and they should know when they're going to gank, right? Around the 2.5 minute to 3:15 mark, guys. I promise you that's when most junglers gank. Now, Jarvan can switch it up. He can go red to immediate gank, but if he does that, he leaves himself liable to getting just absolutely trounced in the CS department by Karthik. Like you said, Olaf, super fast jungler, super quick at clearing, can look to invade potentially onto this Jarvan if he does that level 2 gank, right? Essentially red into mid or red into bottom. So we're going to see how they do it, but both these guys should be knowing when to put their wards up, where these junglers are, so we might see a very slow early game.
Yeah, well, you know, we said that in the last game, and they found ways to make it happen early on, as already the Jarvan just walking on through saying, hello, I am here, not able to get that early flag and drag combination down. And for me, it really feels like a lot of this is going to be very bot lane centric. You are playing a Caitlyn lane that wants to shove, and it feels like you want a jungler that's going to help enable that. But it does look as though the junglers are on opposite side pathings with Rebecca up here in the top lane. Is able to get the bounce down, holding on to the flag and drag. Amistan's going to have to flash. Oh my goodness, that is a flash follow, but it is going to be first blood going over to Amistan. You might have known him as an AD carry, but now he is in the top lane, making junglers' lives hell.
Yeah, doing the role swap going into top lane, like you said, and it just absolutely destroys Rebecca with the Q, right? Just 2 abilities. Just either the Q, hits him with the E as well, slows him down, eats the tower shot there. And I saw what Rebecca was trying to go for, right? They were definitely trying to go for the EQ into the flash knockup. But even then, I don't think that would have guaranteed a kill. And now Amistan is just laying waste onto Zach right now.
Yeah, Bleeding Wolf's taken very low. Does have the passive available. The sales separation will try to just continue to pick up blobs here, as it's just a slugfest, and it's not looking good for Bleeding Wolves. Is going to get taken down here slowly but surely. Amistan flash follow to get another kill back by Bleeding Wolves, and Rebecca is back on the top side. Karthik's now a long way from home. Will be able to get out that passive, but is going to fall nonetheless, and that is a TP on the top side back up for Amistan. But JDK's here. The baby cage is around. Bleeding Wolf's able to bring the cells back together and should be able to walk away from what is already a lively early game, Shibby.
Yeah, I lied. Oh, wait, I'm still lying. There's still stuff going on.
They did not walk away. Oh, my goodness. Okay, maybe get some sense of normalcy here. Bleeding Wolves just wants to get this wave in and get the hell out.
Yeah, and really interesting. Both junglers, I would say Rebecca and Karthik, both just absolutely blundering, right? Rebecca with the EQ flash, but then Karthik not willing to go for the flash or the axe flash, right? So if you miss it, you still pick it up immediately and then you can axe them again. Instead, looking to save the summoner spells, which actually ends up with both Amistan and Karthik losing their lives, but now they're going to the bot lane.
Yep, and that's another one going down here. Not able to get that stun down onto crit chance. Is going to find safety in the tower. And Karthik is just running around the map, causing mayhem. Still up a camp on Rebecca after all of this ganking.
Yeah, and it's really weird, right, that you see the Olaf being the gank machine instead of the Jarvan here, as now she's just looking, or there, sorry, Rebecca is looking to pick up some CS and pick up some camps, as he did go for that early gank into mid, gank into top, and now is just kind of slightly fallen behind. Like you said, two camp lead. Olaf will perpetually have that lead just because the way they clear and kind of how it matches up into Jarvan. But the idea is that once you hit 6, if Karthik ults, then all Rebecca has to do is ult and then EQ out, and then Karthik can't do anything. But crucially though, Olaf smart, not going ghost, ended up going flash, so can look to burn the flash for the ultimate of Jarvan, which is, and you'll take that trade if you're Jarvan. You'll take it 9 times out of 10. But now slowed down early game. Gold is pretty even though. Kate is really looking to just pressure into this lane, and there's not much Ashe Bard can do. Their utility lane. Bard's gonna roam. He's gonna look to get some roams off potentially with his portal and affect some other lanes, and Ashe can farm with relative safety because it is a Zillion Kate lane.
Yeah, but there is that beautiful synergy with these two. If they're able to get the double bomb into the Yordle snap trap, that is a lot of damage coming down pretty quickly. And you can see Kate is not a one trick, but knows the champion very well, hiding these traps right around tower, trying to restrict the movement as I'm Rebecca, lies in wait. No vision here, is able to make a play if they choose to, but it looks as though, hey, if I'm the Wolves, I want to do the same thing. Cuddle that tower. They were buffed in the durability patch. They do stonks of damage here, as it looks like there is East Pity just grabbing some honey fruit there on the bot side. We have slowed down with this first rate on the map.
Yeah, I think gold is pretty even, and it's odd because Kate probably has a good chunk of that gold in their pockets, right? 2 tower plates to themselves. I think that early kill for Cho'Gath, as well as the CS lead that they've been able to mount in the top lane for Amistad, is kind of keeping it even right now, right? 200-300 gold off by both of these laners, and also the jungler having a nice little couple, about 3-4 camp lead. And now we're gonna get the 2v2 in the top lane.
There's the EQ. Karthik on the wrong way of town. Nice little knockup's going to buy some space for him. Not able to get the rubber band back, and they should be able to walk out. Don't know if we want to fancy another dive on the top tower. Rebecca found themselves on the wrong end of the color and black and white screen last time. But JDK is also here. We cannot stop fighting on the top side of the map. Karthik is stunned up. He is taken down by Bleeding Wolves. Now JDK is on the wrong side of town, able to flash the Anivia wall. But that is another kill over to the side of the Grizzlies.
And Karthus just looked a little lost there. I think he wanted to go in, but Amistad and JDK were not ready to go. And that's kind of those synergy issues that you mentioned, right, in the last game. These teams just maybe not having clear comms or just not understanding when they want to go in with each other. Very, very confusing. It looks like Grizzlies, they're just playing slightly better as a team, right? They're grouping, they're doing their ganks off properly, they're diving properly, they understand who to focus, and it feels like Wolves have to play reactionary, they have to play proactively as a nice portal comes in.
Yeah, Karthik is now in the lane, is going to be slowed down by crit chance. They is not able to get the double bomb. Kate OTP is out of spells to use and will fall to the wild man, as now East Pity and JDK are going to take a nice heavy trade here. Babygate not able to find a stun. No mana left on the Burb, is going to have to walk away from that. And my goodness, Bard is annoying, isn't he? Able to set up the magical journey to make that play happen.
Oh yeah, the magical journey plays are so nice if you're a juggler. You love being able to get these crazy gank angles off. You don't have to go around river. You could just absolutely go through it. As Bleeding Wolves and Ascent are going to trade, and because East Pity was out of mana and wanted to get that wave shoved in, they noticed that they're backing, so they immediately turned tails towards the dragon. Very, very smart play from the Wolves early on. They're going to pick up this early mountain dragon. Like you said, this is where everything's buffed, and I believe mountain dragon now gives 9% magic and armor resist. So that is quite a bit. Yep, 9% armor and magic resist. That's quite a bit early into the laning phase. It's pretty disgusting. That only increases as you build more and more armor. You get that passive going. It's going to be really nice for the tanks, at least especially for Cho'Gath here, who is that soul tank coming out for the Wolves.
No, that is absolutely, I could not agree more with the big brain on Shibby here. Dragon's buffed is great, and especially for Karthik as well, who is just, all gas, no brakes on this Olaf, having natural resistances, helps enable that game style more. And as we saw, when they can meet up with Paradox Creator and get these interesting angles, as that's another interesting angle, flag and drag, flash, but there's the Cataclysm, the stun up, Poro Slayer is going to go to gray screen, but hey, I'm Rebecca, gets the brought back with that ultimate right there, as Karthik now has to run for the hills, is going to have to blow the ultimate to walk away, is burning down the ace in the hole, is not going to find its mark. Paradox Creator there to save the day. But we could see what this pushing lane is doing for the Grizzlies. It's just making it easy for the Jarvan to hide in one of these bushes and just wait for somebody to step a little too far forward and is able to get the combos down. Yeah, the low mobility coming out from Ash, even with the double mobility sums, right? Ghost and Flash, which we've been seeing a lot more on things like the Aphelios, like the Sivir, and now Ash here, trying to go for that same concept, just not getting caught out. Uh-oh. Yeah, but that is going to be the Tempered Fate coming down. Ash is back in the lane. Poro Slayer does not have the Magical Enchanted Arrow, so there is nothing to follow up on here. Really looking like just trying to save this tower as long as they can. Try to slow down the Caitlyn and the Zilean in their march to glory. Yeah, this is what a Cait lane does, right? And if you're somebody like Karthik, who's kind of forced to give attention down there, you always have to be weary of Rebecca on the counter gank, right? Jarvan's going to be playing towards it. They know, kind of where their toast is buttered, I guess, in that sense, where they're gonna look and they're gonna play towards that bottom lane. That's what they're gonna do, right? Rebecca, all he has to do is yeah, this is gonna be another. It's gonna get the snapback. Amistan automatically has to flash, and I was gonna say these two big boys in the top lane are just hitting each other relentlessly. It has been all gas and no breaks all over the map, but hasn't really led to much since those ganks up on the top side earlier on. They've just kind of been left to themselves. And actually, Amistan able to get a small CS advantage into this, but now it is going to be crit chance in the wrong part of town. Has the ultimate, but Wolves are smart. They said you don't want to pop that party popper, and just allows him to walk away instead. And not too much worse for wear overall, but we do have Shelly up here on the top side, as it looks like the cross map is going to try to be some sort of play here on the bottom side. 4 members strong for the Wolves, just looking around at that one Caitlyn. Not an OTP Caitlyn, but a Caitlyn nonetheless. Just one Caitlyn, like you said, and they get the Zilean ultimate out, but that thing is on such a low cooldown, even at rank 1. I mean, you get it out, you pretty much reliably play safe enough before it comes back up again. And so Grizzlies just get a free Herald in the top side. All this pressure going into Amazon, right? Like you said, JDK, though, gets Cataclysm done. Yeah, that is going to be the Catalysm. JDK waiting to the last second to try to flash, but will get hit with that Q at the end of the day. Jarvan finds the mark. Rebecca now 3-1 as we continue to just pressure all around the map. And for now, this nice little gold lead, this 2K gold lead to the sides of the Grizzlies, is looking to help scale completely. Nice is East Pity. Just does so much damage on the bird, not even sitting on a mythic item just yet. And going for that scaling build, right? Goes for the tier early, has the Lost Chapter, boots as well, and Veigar looking like he's going to go for the Everfrost build right now, and Amistad and Bleeding Wolves once again just trading dukes right now in the top lane. Yeah, and right now it's looking like it's going towards Bleeding Wolves, able to pick up these blobs, continue to gain health back. Amistan, on the other hand, does have the ultimate available. The feast could be real as he is going to get knocked back, continuing to fight back in this lane and step away. Not able to hit a knockup. He has to continue to run for the hills here as the Herald is going to be dropped here in the top lane. Not enough to take down the tower, but it is enough to give Bleeding Wolves just a little bit more gold in their pocket. Now on the bottom side, Poro Slayer is going to be the Tempered Fate, try to save their life, but that is just going to prolong the death of Poro Slayer here in the bottom side. There's action all around the map. JDK, Karthik, and Paradox down here trying to just cover this tower that once again is just sitting on one little smidgen of health at this point. Yeah, they wanted to save it before the last plate went down, but I mean, pretty much that gold lead was completely taken essentially by this bot lane here of Caitlyn and Zilean. They took essentially 4.5 plates out. Amistan as well, TPing in right now onto Bleeding Wolves. Bleeding Wolves, you got to run, buddy. You do have E though, right? Yeah, but can we stop it? There's the knockup. There's the E, but it's going to get canceled out here. Has to flash away from Bleeding Wolves as now on the bottom side, forced to burn the ultimate flash away. Ace in the hole is not going to be enough there. The shield keeping Karthik alive. Now here in the long trade, does have Rebecca in a weird spot, has the ultimate on him. They're going to wait to try to pop it here. And still fighting on the top side of the map. Bleeding Wolves trying to get back to tower. Amistan might be able to find the flash feast. We're going to have to see. Does he have the hands? He's not. He's not going to go for it. I need it in my life, Amistan.
Not going for the flash feast, mostly because Bleeding Wolves has that passive ready. So even if he does chomp him down into the little bloblets, I don't know if he can reliably kill, especially with his mana pool being so low. Even a QW might not be enough. So opting into just taking the...
Oh my gosh, JDK is going to get taken down. That is East Pity in egg form, and we're going to have an omelet in the mid lane as Karthik is now 2-2.
Can he do it?
But can he? No, he can't. Crit chance once again, just here to foil all of our plans as Amistan now has to walk away. And man, how does it feel to think that Bleeding Wolves at points in this game is going to have 3 lives?
Yeah, Anivia as well, right? Both of these champions, both the solo laners, has a revive built into their kit. They also have, like you said, the Zillion coming in. Like, you gotta kill. Imagine killing a Zac as an Ashe 3 times over. That just sounds horrible. That just sounds like a pain. And especially if you're going like, look, the Bork on-hit Ashe build that I think we're seeing from Poro Slayer here. It's gonna be rough when you have this Zac charging at you at Mach speed, right, with the Zillion-E, or potentially this Jarvan with the Zillion-E. It can be super annoying. And like you said, this composition... Wolves have to play these team fights immaculately 2 or 3 times over sometimes before the fight is actually won, while Grizzlies, they have a lot more room to make mistakes, I'm going to say. They have a lot more room for error, and they can't necessarily be punished as long as Clit Chance is on point with their ultimates.
That is absolutely the case as the Tempered Fate comes in, catches out. Crit Chance here is going to get stunned up by the Baby Cage, but East Pity's there to try to defend the Clock Man. As now it is going to be the Cataclysm down on JDK, is exhausted on the back line, while Karthik is just running towards East Pity. Another flash burnt out, but now Rebecca is in an odd spot. East Pity has to continue to try to play it out. There will be a kill onto Karthik, will go down. JDK now in the wrong part of town, but will take out East Pity along the way, and that is going to be a double kill for Rebecca here. Now 5-1 on this Jarvan the Fourth.
Yeah, after that kind of unfortunate start in the early gank on the top lane, feeding the kill over to Amistan, Rebecca has just been playing this Jarvan perfectly, right? Ulting the right targets, CCing the right targets. You can see Karthik, who was super deep in, was able to target switch back out, kill Olaf, then proceed to kill JDK, who had the flash up, I believe. It just wasn't able to use it. And yeah, East Pity goes down, but... you get Rebecca 5-1 on this Jarvan, going for that more damaged drain tank kind of build with the Gore Drinker, potentially going into Death Dance after this. They're going to be super annoying to deal with, right? Especially if you're playing into something like the Jarvan as an Ashe, as a Vigar. Once he dumps onto you with the Cataclysm, the EQ combo, and everything like that, hits with the passive, you're either dead or nearly dead, and all Anivia or Kate have to do is tap you once with one of their abilities or auto attack.
No, absolutely. I couldn't said it better myself. There is just so much utility and pain now baked into the kit of this Jarvan. Rebecca playing extremely well. And in the long term, after that 3v3 in mid, we see them trade towers, or not trade towers. They actually took both tier 1s inside lane for the side of Grizzlies. So pushing the map state forward is now Amistan has found the Clock Man. Will he be able to get away? That is going to be a TP coming through for the side of the Grizzlies. But it is just going to be immediately knocked up as Bleeding Wolf is going to try to make room for this Anivia, who's now caught in the Cataclysm. CC is immune, can't get away from Karthik, who's going low, but doing so much damage. That is going to be a shutdown handed over, as now they need to run for the hills. Crit Chance is in trouble, is going to go down to the biggest outplay button in the game. JDK presses R, and that goes down. So... what looked like a great start of a play ends up just going all the Wolves' ways as they look to pick up the second Rift Herald of the game.
Yeah, that's a 4-for-0 going to the side of the Wolves here. Not evening up the gold completely, but getting them back into the game here, lowering it down to 1.5k gold. And that was just started off by East Pity. Raw TPing into the middle of River, not really having his team there. And the Cataclysm was nice. it was just unfortunate that it also trapped East Pity into it. So both Rebecca and East Pity go down. They translate this into a Herald, and on top of that, they may get this Dragon here unless Kate OTP or this Zac can do the drive-by steal. They have to pull this out. If they don't pull this out right now, it's going to get stolen right now.
Oh, but it does get stolen, even though the baby cage is there. Now Rebecca may trade their life on this play. Will go down, but that is a root on Karthik. No ultimate available. Will get shut down right in return by Kate. And goodness gracious. Yeah, add that to the highlight reel. I'm going to be on YouTube, Mom, as Rebecca with no fear EQs in and gets another Drake for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, we called it out right there, right? They could get the steal. They could potentially get stolen if they don't pull it out, and that's exactly what happened. And if you're Jarvan, you'll take that. You'll stack the Ocean Dragons. You'll take the 1-for-0 on the Ocean Dragon. You won't let Wolves get any more. And hey, Wolves make a good play, and then they make a bad play, right? It's almost like for every good thing that they do, they must equally do something very horrible, and it looks like they'll lose the Dragon here. Gold lead is still in the side of the Grizzlies' favor, about 2,000 gold here, a clean even, and you give the scaling side, right? The scaling argument. Now you get to the 20-minute mark. It's like, which team has to end quicker? And there's an Ashe, there's an Olaf, there's a Vigar on the Wolves side here as potentially a fight is breaking out.
Ooh, that is going to be the Cataclysm down on 2 members, but Forest Slayer's still alive. Is going to get taken down by the Ace in the hole. Threads the needle here with just a little bit of health left and able to disengage from the fight. This is looking, though, like the tier 1 will fall to the Wolves as they press forward. Going to have to see if they're looking for any more. Is going to get stunned up on Amistan. And that's Bleeding Wolves on the back line. Is not able to find anybody with E. Is going to have to flash out of the baby cage. Amistan is stunned up. Karthik stunned up. Amistan is down. East Pity said eastbound and down as Bleeding Wolves is looking for more. Paradox Creator in a bad spot. Is going to get knocked up there, but the baby cage is stopping the forward aggression of the Grizzlies. They are looking for more. They are hungry. They do not want to hibernate. They want to destroy. But that will be the end of that play.
Yeah, and Amistan flashing forward to get the Q onto him. I don't even think that would have been the kill onto Caitlyn here. Just looking to potentially threaten lethal, but ends up paying for his life because East Pity, amazing wall, amazing stun, and even a better ultimate. Just a lot of zone control and zone denial coming out from both of these squads. And it looks like both these middle laners are using their CC and using their tools very, very well, right? JDK setting up multiple picks and also saving his team multiple times with the baby cages. But also East Pity, the wall into R combo into stun is so devastating. Does so much damage. And you saw Amistan paid with it for his life. And unfortunately, you know, after all said and done, after that nice mid lane take turret, after that nice 4-for-1 in the top side, Wolves are still down about 2.5, nearly 3K gold, and Grizzlies are just keeping the lead up. And I think it is on the Grizzlies to try to end this sooner rather than later. Yes, you have an Anivia, what scales very, very well, but on the Wolves side, they have the Vigar, they have the Ashe, they have the Cho'Gath, who eventually will just become this walking monstrosity of health that will be so hard to chew through. And you look at the build, nobody went, you know, it was sort of this tank slayer build. Anivia doesn't have Leandries. Caitlyn does not have Kraken Slayer. So if Amistan gets to a point where the armor and MR, as I'm talking Karthik though,
yeah, Crit Chance does not have a chance to get anywhere. It's just going to continue to be slowed down here in the fight. But now it's East Pity, CC immune as Karthik is continuing to walk forward here, is now stunned, is out of the ultimate. That is Rebecca going back in with the 2-man Cataclysm, but it's not enough. There's no damage there. East Pity has to go into stasis. This might be their last moments as they're now about to get into an omelet again. Crit Chance can't get in. Ace of the Hole's not going to find anything, but it is Bleeding Wolves who's also going to find a kill on the backside. Everything is turning up for the Grizzlies right now in a 2-for-1 exchange.
2-for-1 right now. The Herald goes down, drops the damage on the Bleeding Wolves. Just gets absolutely outplayed. Just absolutely outplayed. Just high skill difference coming out from JDK here. Wait, the battle is not finished yet.
No, they're going to take the tier 2. They're going to wrench it from the Grizzlies' hands. And now comes the point in the game. The epic 2-item power trough that is Caitlyn. The now 5-5 Jarvan. Remember, this was 5-1. But now we've gotten to the point where diving that backline doesn't seem as viable anymore. How do the Grizzlies play the game?
Yeah, it's It's Rebecca with the diving, like you said, onto the backline, but Bleeding Wolves is not there to follow up. You can't get the other CC going down, you can't get that damage going down, so East Pity and Caitlyn can't walk up. The space is not being created effectively enough by just Rebecca, so what happens is when she dives into the backline, oh, Olaf is just going to run through you. Wait a minute, Vigard's just going to run past the rest of Jarvan and say, you know what, I'm going to baby cage, I'm going to kill somebody. Ooh, nice arrow!
Oh, that's the enchanted crystal arrow into the stasis. Kate OTP is going to have to blow the flash, but he's going to get stunned up anyways. They do not control the river. It is not theirs. They have not paid the troll toll to get to the dragon just yet. It is on the map. Ocean Drake would put Grizzlies on Soul Point as they continue the dance of the dragons. Not the house of the dragons, but the dance of the dragons here at this all-important Soul Point.
And Grizzlies can just muscle their way in, right? They're beefy, big boy bodybuilders in Jarvan and Zach here. They can walk up. They need to create the space now. They cannot let the Wolves take over and start zoning you out. You have to use your HP bars effectively. You have to give Caitlyn and Anivia the room to play. And if River isn't it, then there isn't going to be really much more room to play in here. Bleeding Wolves looking for a flank here as he gets spotted out by JDK. Now the go button is
there.
here.
It is. They're all in the back line. Paradox Creator caught in the Cataclysm, but that is just the outplay button. There's East Pity is now just getting shredded, is going to get the Resurrect, but there's still CC immune on the back line. Kate OTP trying to get away, but will be stopped in their tracks, and now Crit Chance needs to run for the hills. Paradox Creator slowing. East Pity has been pushed out of the river, and that is only 3 members standing for the side of Grizzlies. Can they find a way back in here as the dragon is just being burned down? Paradox Creator's got to be careful. East Pity, though, takes the wrong side of that trade. 1 HP is going to go down. JDK is unstoppable on this Vigor as Crit Chance is going to speed himself up, but there is a Predator on the loose, but will not find its prey now. But they could find themselves a big purple worm off the back of that team fight.
And just really, really nice ability usage coming out from the Wolves. We talked about it, right? What are they going to do? How are they going to react to the engages? Wait a minute. Never mind. Chris Hansen can't save you, buddy. A Predator is on the loose, JDK. They get the Baron. They get the Worm, all 5 members, and they get out safely with a kill onto Glitchance here. Wolves turning it around after being down, what, 3,000, 2,000 gold, pretty much the entire game up until this point. It's just their ability usage right now, right? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, Karthik's going to get EQ'd. Does not look any worse for wear, though, as the Cataclysm comes down as Bleeding Wolves and Karthik is going, just not stopping, continuing to move forward, still has the unstoppable. Bleeding Wolves is getting the hell out of town, but East City is about to be down bad in 4K on a killing spree. Karthik is not the man to be tribal with, now 8-4. They have the control of the mid lane. They have the great purple cape on their back. Can they push it down to victory?
I mean, he potentially look for an inhibitor turret here. Kate OTP, though, not going to be super effective. The space isn't created. You're right. They've got the double cannon minions pushing it onto the mid lane. They could look for it. Lot of ultimates were burned. JDK's ultimate's still up. Amistad's is still up. And Ashes is coming up in about 30 seconds or so as Karthik is finally just zoning them out. And potentially, they look for a fight here. Might be the last stand.
Bleeding Wolves is going in. JDK is looking pretty low, but that is the silence going forward. Bleeding Wolves has to run for the hills. It's going to go down. But there is the Resurrect. Is it enough? No, the baby cage. Bleeding Wolves is just down and out, and Rebecca has to get out too. There is no front line for the Grizzlies right now as the Tip of Fate takes down a tower and a bird. Can they stop the onslaught that is the Wolves? This is the fight for the base.
Triple cannon minions sieging onto your base. What can you do? Grizzlies, not much. You can just try to wave clear. And finally, I think they have pushed the Wolves out. They have taken their space finally. And wait a minute, actually, are they going to go for another engage? Wait, the redemption comes in, guys.
There's a little bit of health back, but like you said, the Wolves may be held at bay. They don't need to play with their food. They just need to continue to play disciplined. 2 minutes would put one of these teams on Soul Point. Like you said, so much of the early game was all Grizzly focused, but it seems like the Wolves have gotten the pack together and are starting to find their way to win this game.
Yeah, it really is off the back of their ability usage, right? How they are reacting to the engage of Rebecca. And Rebecca is going in a little too deep with Bleeding Wolves. They're engaging, but they don't have the damage follow-up. They don't have somebody like a Silas. They don't have somebody like a Galio or an Akali or some assassin that can follow in behind them. So it's really just two tanks or one tank and one bruiser going onto your backline. All JDK has to do is drop the cage onto him and just burst them out immediately, as they don't really have too much magic resistance. Bleeding Wolves has the Spirit Visage, but if Rebecca goes in, she gets blown up every single time. Like you said, she went from 5-1 to 5-7 in a matter of minutes. And it's just because of how safe this Wolves composition is with the Bard ultimate, with the Vigar E. There's so much disengage and counter engage coming out from the Wolves that they've been turning these fights around. And you look at East Pity and Kate, they just don't have any space to work with, right? Karthik is running at them, Paradox is running at them, Amistad is running at them, and it's super hard to shoot through these life bars, especially if you don't have some true damage or tank cutter like the Kraken Slayer, like Leandries. Amistad is just going to walk forward and tank everything, even with this sort of hybrid AP build that he's gone.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And when you look at Bleeding Wolves and Amistad's health bars, they're a rather large group of fellows, but the itemization just right now is not there from the Grizzlies. Karthik's going to get slowed down and stunned, but he doesn't really care. He'll take that. He'll just walk away happy, as we do look like there's something here on the top side. He's going to get the EQ in, not able to get the knockup. That's going to be a flash out of the Cataclysm. Bleeding Wolves is trying to move forward, but this Kraken Slayer is doing so much in there, stuck in the baby cage now. Rebecca is done. JDK is Yodlight. Eastbound and down. Pity. It feels bad, and Bleeding Wolves is soon to follow. It is just the lone Clockman running from this pack of wolves. They started slow. They started as cubs. But my goodness, have they scaled into the game. Paradox Creator doesn't care. Flashes the wall. Amistad flashes the wall. JDK flashes the wall. They're all flashing the wall. That's going to be one Nexus turret down. The second one soon to follow. And I don't care how much scaling you have. Time is not on your side, Zillion, as it does look like the Wolves will go 1-0 versus the Grizzlies.
And really nice play coming out from both Paradox and JDK here, right? Setting their team up, like you said, you mentioned, it just looks like an Olaf comp, and much of an Olaf comp as it was. And you went 9-4-9 after a bit of a rocky start into the early game. Was able to get set up by his team. The stasises coming out from Bard were on point. 2-man, 3-man, 4-man stuns into the Vigar E cage, into just death, as they were just dropping the W onto them. They were dropping Karthik onto them. Really, really nice play. And just overall, nice turnaround victory coming from the Wolves, right? Just punishing the over-engage, punishing the dive effectively, and holding on to their summoners, holding on to their abilities to turn it around. And yeah, I mean, Grizzlies had it. I wouldn't say they threw, they just kind of let it slip through their fingers.
Yeah, absolutely not. No hard throwing today, just maybe dropping the ball a bit. And I've got to say that, like, the way you put that is so beautiful. This was a game of PUBG here. The Wolves dropped in and just ran straight at them, and there just was no real tools to actually stop them. And that's something to be said, you know. We said Rebecca, 5-1 on the Jarvan. Huge early game aggression that led to a lot of leads. But sadly, if we look at this, just the KDAs across the board, I mean, East Pity and Kate and OTP, 2-7, 3-3. We weren't able to translate for the side of the Grizzlies that early game aggression and lead from Rebecca into any scaling and movement forward for the carries of the Grizzlies. While on the opposite side, I mean, Karthik and Poro Slayer, as well as, you know, JDK in the mid lane, all three of them were just this triad of devastation. Much to the chagrin of the Grizzlies, they just found themselves going to gray screen a little bit too much here in week one.
That's a cool nickname to have if I were the Grizz. I would keep that. The triad of devastation. Karthik, JDK, and Poro Slayer. That is nice. I thought you were going to go something league related, maybe the Triforce of devastation, but you know, Triad sounds much more menacing. And if you told me I had to go against the Triad of devastation in VRD, I would be breaking in my boots. I'd have to change my underwear, man. Like that is rough. That is rough. And you said it perfectly, right? Look at the damage of these guys. I mean, Amistad as well, even though he had a rough laning phase, was getting a lot of attention from the Grizzlies. He was able to pull it out and pull the victory out, even on this tank hybrid Cho'Gath. And The ease of execution was on Grizzlies. It just felt that they had two different themes going. They had long range carries with the Caitlyn and the Nivea, that they had hard engage and dive with the Zac and the Jarvan. And you just saw kind of the anti-synergy composition that came out from Grizzlies. So I think they have the right idea. You either stick to one or the other, I think. You know, if this gets slotted in with a Silas, right? If you get a Draven slotted in, you get this kind of all-in composition. That's where I think you may have really saw a difference onto the Wolves, where there would be too many tools for the Wolves to deal with. But since it was just Zac and Jarvan, a simple cage, a simple Bard ultimate took care of them lickety split, and then Caitlyn and Anivia just got ran down by both Karthik and Amistan, and they couldn't really do much because there was no tank slaying on the side of the Grizzlies here.
Absolutely. If you want to have a tank party, you got to bring some tank slayers. But ladies and gentlemen, we've seen the Hounds, we've seen the Rhinos, we've gotten through the Grizzlies and the Wolves. We're going to get something a little bit different here after a short break. We're going to have the Hornets versus the Ducks here in the Victoris Rivals draft. Just stick around. We'll be back after a short break.
All right, y'all, we are back on the desk after game 2 here of the opening week of the Victoris? Wow. The Victoris Rivals Draft. I'm Infinite Dodge, not Quicksand. Quicksand had to go work at the circus, apparently, which is, like, insane and cool. But I am joined by Regdor and Shibby, who absolutely killed it on our cast in game 2. We are just waiting real quick before we do hop into game 3. Might have a bit of an E-sub situation emerging. Gotta check to see if all of the players are ready. We'll update you on that shortly. But guys, I get a chance now to chime in a little bit on that last game. It went to hell in a handbasket real quick for the Grizzlies. It looked so good early. And Regdor and I sort of like, we had like this telepathy thing where we both realized at the same second. He said it right after I thought it. Wow, there's 3 health bars for the Grizzlies. You have the Zac, you have the Anivia, and you have the Zillion to revive the both of them. You have so many reses, and I was like, how do they ever lose a fight? It just keeps going and going and going, but somehow it sort of fell apart for them there. What really made the difference in allowing the Wolves to pick up that W in game 2?
You want to go first, Regdor? I mean, I can tell you. I can tell you in a couple words.
Yeah, my thought is kind.
Can't really revive people if you're not in range for the revive. Like that's really all that happened. It was overcommitment on the side of the Jarvan and Zac, and then unfortunately Zillion does not have a global on his ultimate, so he can't just click somebody. I just gave Riot an idea. I'm so sorry. Hopefully nobody's watching this. Nobody never give anybody a global revive. But yeah, that's kind of what it is.
I know some people. I'll send it their way.
Oh, please don't.
I'm so sorry for the havoc that I've wreaked on champion design. But yeah, I mean, that's what it was, right? It was overcommitment, overdiving from the Jarvan and Zac. They went into the backline. They did their job. And if you're like me, if you're like any other solo queue player, you'll say, I dove onto the backline. I CC'd them. I did everything I can. Well, unfortunately, your backline is 50 miles out in West Connecticut, and they don't even know where they're going, right? Yeah. And they're getting dived on by a Cho'Gath and Olaf. They're just getting completely wrecked. And unfortunately, when you're so split apart, you allow yourself to be picked off, and the other team is grouping up. They have the tools to re-engage, and yeah, it's just they were not in sync on what they wanted to do, and their champs didn't do those things together well.
Yeah. And the other half of the equation is for all the bumbling and stumbling we could say for the Grizzlies trying to get their feet under them. On the opposite side, I don't know why I remember. I'm going to figure it out later, like at 10 o'clock at night when I'm laying down in my bed. Karthik, pretty damn good jungler. I don't know. I know him from somewhere. But they played Olaf the way that you're supposed to play Olaf. The one thing that happens with these snowbally comps is generally he stops farming. And they just farm champions. And then the enemy team is able to deal with them. And seemingly so, right? You have the Caitlyn that can peel back. You have the self-peel from the Anivia, the AoE slow, that all these things that makes it harder for Amistan, for Karthik to walk in on these champions. But like you said, when 40% of your team goes the opposite direction, and that's towards the enemy's backline while Karthik walks at you, it becomes a lot harder to play this game. But Karthik played it to perfection alongside JDK in this 2v2 jungle mid synergy, which if I'm drafting a team, that's where I want my money. If you were, doing one of those clickbait Twitter things where it's like build a world's team with $15, right? I'm going to put 10 of my dollars in jungle mid. That's where the money's going to go. And that's exactly what we saw kind of play out in this game was really JDK and Karthik just absolutely going brazy in these team fights.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Sorry, Shibby, don't want to cut you off, but we'll have to see if we get more mid-jungle focus in Game 3, because Hornets and Ducks are ready to go. Gentlemen, we are throwing on over. This is our last game of the night. It should be a banger. I'll catch you guys for the post-show. Until then, have a great one.
Thank you so much, Dodge. Once again, one of the best in the business. So happy to have him here alongside me and Shibby. And what we're not going to see things alongside is the Twitch and Gangplank, as well as that Trundle. You may not have been here for game 1, but it was absolutely disgusting. Saturation saturated the Rift with a lot of devastation. Not a triad, but nonetheless, here. Yeah, take some time. Let it marinate in there.
It just seeped into my brain. It's oozing out my ears as I heard that. But getting into the band, some familiar faces here. I believe that is Victoris' very own Ravens man. I could be wrong. I think that's him. He could be playing there. The ever-loving TO administrator, man with the gavel, right, ready to pound into any insurrections. I don't know where I'm going with this, but Icy Rain as well, veteran of the Victoris League as well. But we have mostly new faces. I think Hayden's the only other one I recognize. Everybody else is fairly new. Ichobin, Giggle, I'm not going to say the last part of that word, Frozen Forever, Yoey, all these guys are very, very new to VRD unless they name changed. But the bands going through Twitch, Gangplank, Ornn. We talked about these champions early on in the game 2 prep. These really strong top laners that we've been seeing meta dependent. Sivir Trundle as well. But the Sejuani top gets locked in.
Yeah, well, and so that is still a flex, right? You could still move Sejuani into the jungle. It's been rising up in popularity with some of those like lane opponents that Sejuani doesn't want to see coming out. And like Lilia is one of them. You really don't want to lane into a Lilia if that's in the top lane. But quick shout outs. You're talking about players that we recognize. We got Melly G playing double duty, is a VAD player on Mondays, VRD on Tuesdays, out here representing, as well as Frozen Forever is playing in, I believe, VRS is the LCE support lit club. You know, just a little shout out there. I believe they role swapped a few months back, so they're continuing to find their place, but super aggressive there. And like you said, we got 2 melee flexes already picked up in the draft. Both of them can go jungle. Both of them can go top. We'll have to see that they choose to pair the MF alongside it. And that insta response, the CEO of League of Legends, Seraphine, is here.
Yeah, CEO. She definitely runs all of League of Legends, every single league, be it pro or amateur. I mean, she's just so strong, not getting bound out at all. And a triflex, right? Can go mid, can go support, can go the carry role if he wants into the bottom lane. Super, super strong. And I love this combo of the Irelia Sejuani. And if it works super, super well. If it's a Sejuani jungle, the melee paired up. This used to be a common combo, I believe 2 seasons back. You'd pair it up with the Irelia mid when it was super strong, or sometimes you'd see the Camille mid or top, and these two would just jump on you. You had no way of dealing with it. So really nice, like you said, keeping the flex option there for the Sejuani. You can also keep the flex option there for pretty much all 3 of these champions. They have 2 roles they can go to or more potentially. So not a lot is being revealed. The hand is not being revealed right now. And Ducks, they're kind of just, they're drafting what they want. They're getting what they want. It seems like they know, you know, I want this. I want the MF. I want the Lilia. Okay, I'm going to take the set now. So they kind of have their pieces in place, and they're going for more of a composition that makes sense, right? The 5v5 Wombo, the giant team fight presence. And now VRD, the Ducks, I don't know what they're going to ban, because they need to ban out maybe a support, maybe an AD carry, maybe a jungler. Like, who knows?
Yeah, and well, here's the thing about the Ducks is they're playing their cards a little bit less close to the chest, but they're doing it to try to force something. That is 90% sure that that's a set top. Irelia does not want to play into set top. Sejuani can play into it, but it's not as great. So they're trying to squeeze the Hornets and say, I don't think that you both can actually play this champion. I think you're actually setting yourself up for failure, and you're going to play the Irelia blind into what is now a set with the counter pick. And that's just pain. But there is that melee synergy that you're talking about. Whenever you have Sejuani, you want to capitalize on that with these melee side lanes, so you're able to make the most use out of that passive and really shut people down in the fights. In the second rounds of bans, Ashe, Taric, we're looking at more engage, we're looking at more slows, and really trying to take away these initiation tools from the side of the Hornets as well as the Ducks here as we're getting into these last bans. I mean, where do you go from here? What is the AD carry that you put with the Hornets to help round out this comp?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna completely 180 it, right? I think the best thing you can do on the Hornet side is run double melee side lanes, right? Top and mid, or sorry, double melee solo lanes, and then just throw the Seraphine into the carry role into the bottom side. Throw her as an AP carry, or you could just throw her as a support, pair them up with a really good AD carry, something that can enable or work well with the stun or set her up for the stun. So that's what I think you do. I think that's their best bet, right? Completely just go all in on the Sejuani, all in on the double melee, and just look to really punish this kind of immobile composition from the Ducks, right? With the set, with the MF, I wouldn't call set mobile, because he goes in, he engages, and that's it. He's one and done. He engages, throws all of his cooldowns in, blows his load, and then he's like, all right, what do I do now? And he just dies most of the time.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to blow your load too early in a team fight. That's for sure. But this will be the Amumu getting locked in. So another melee champion on the Rift that could be in the support position. We heard it talked about, last year at Worlds, the sad curse of the bullet time or something along those lines. This wombo combo bot synergy that sadly did not work all that well. This is the resurrection of Amumu trying to find some friends down in the duo lane. And this still leaves some ambiguity in the draft. Is it support? Is it top lane? Is it jungle? All these champions can kind of be intermixed. The one thing they do know is we have a misfortune, right? And we're now hovering a Silas. So there's another one of those melee solo lanes that we talked about before. So we got to see what's going to round out this composition for the Hornets.
Is it an AD carry or is it an engage support? Are they going to run something like the Seraphine Nautilus? Are they going to throw her into the AP carry role? There's so much flexibility here. Right now, the Hornets have kind of shown their hand, though, right? Definitely Sejuani jungle. Irelia probably top. Silas probably mid. And they are going to run the AP Seraphine with the Renata. Nice counter engage. I like it. You can use the Renata ultimate onto the set, onto the Amumu as they're diving in. And now Ducks are going to round it out with the Talia. I like it. Very anti-engage heavy as well, right? The new E. If you get caught into it, you get stunned and you just get kind of almost rooted in place. It is super nice, and it just allows you to kind of bob and weave out of this composition. So the Ducks, they have some anti-synergy, right? They have the set, they have the Amumu, they have these champions that want to go in and combo you, but they also have things like the Lilia and the Talia who want to dance around the range of engage of the Hornets and really look to whittle you down slowly. Whereas the Hornets, you know their objective. You know what they want to do. They want a death ball. They want to 5v5 you. They want to get this massive encore out, and they want to just destroy you as just giant ball of evisceration, I would say, from the Hornets.
The giant ball of evisceration. That's a pretty good statement there. And that's going to be the thing for the Ducks, is that they do have a lot of great initiation tools. The Amumu, like we talked about, over the bullet time. Dallas, or not Dallas, but probably Millie G here on this set has the showstopper. And when you have a beautiful target called Sejuani, this giant meatball of health getting thrown down into your team without a traditional marksman, this is going to be harder. The Hornets draft is something like what EG had been doing in playoffs thus far, and playing these super strong solo laners with this sort of supportive bot lane, right? No actual marksman, but instead the Seraphine that does scale really well and gives a lot of sustain even in that AP heavy form. And then you throw Renata on top of it. This is a Frozen Forever special. They woke up one day and said, hey, I want to play support. Renata got locked in and they never looked back since. So very well versed on the champion. We're going to have to see how the bot side 2v2 goes. And that's really where I think the focus of this game has to be. We know the solo lanes. We get what Hornets are trying to do on the top side of the map. But if their bottom lane falls apart with a very aggressive 2v2 out of a Yowie and Quintic, how do you even play the game?
Yeah, it's rough. And you mentioned if you were drafting, if you were using the $15 to build your roster, you would spend as much as you can on the best mid jungle synergy. And classically what we've seen, the only thing to combat that other than having an equal or better mid jungle synergy is just having an absolutely oppressive bot lane, right? You go back to the days, and I'm going to age myself a little bit. You go back to like the Uzi Ming days, right? The Uzi Mata days, and where these guys, they would try and just smash you in the bot lane. They didn't have the strongest solo laners. They didn't have the strongest junglers like Clear Love and every these farming style junglers. And so they would just try to destroy you through bot and translate that into, okay, you might have strong solo laners, but you're going to have to deal with a hyper carry, AD carry, somebody that's going to dodge and weave all these abilities that knows how to carry. And so that's maybe what I think the Ducks can be going for here in Yowie and Quintic. They have the ability, they have the power to carry these. I mean, once this bot lane hits 6, you can't misstep as the Hornets. Like if you get bandage tossed into Curse of the Sad Bullet Time, you're dead. You're just done. It's over. And so how are they going to look to play these in the team fights is, that is the best thing that the Ducks can do here. While Hornets, they kind of have to look for these flank engages. They have to like play a little bit unfair and punch you in the liver, punch you in the back of the head, that kind of stuff for them to really get a good angle onto the Ducks.
Yeah, will it be the dirty fighting of the Hornets, or will it be the display of supremacy from the Ducks here in the last game of the night for VRD? And if I recall correctly, before we go to a short break, this is going to be one of the most important matches because right now the Hornets are 1-1 on the day, while the Ducks, it seems, has not yet found a win for themselves in week 1, the all-important week that's going to set the precedent. Will teams implode? Will egos explode? The only way to know is to see how this game turns out, which we'll get back to here after a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and the stars are bright deep down in the namesake of Dallas, also called Texas here. So we got some of the best and brightest in VRD on the map. Staple names in, micro celebrities, if we'll call them here in the Victoris multiverse. As we got a little bit of a level 1 going on. 4 people stacking a bush on the top side for the Ducks, while it is just Hayden all by themselves. Maybe going to be found out here as this is the 5-man invade from the Hornets looping around the backside of the blue buff. Just going to get a ward down, and Hayden's going to match it with one of their own. So no questions to be had of where the Ducks are going to start.
Yeah, and I think if Hornets wanted to, they could really press onto Hayden, right, on the Lilia. Lilia is a very, very weak level 1. Like, she's you would normally see them start Raptors trying to avoid getting invaded, and then teams would start late invading the Raptors and really setting her far behind. I think they just want to get the vision down. Again, this time the Hornets know where the Ducks are starting, but will they be able to avoid the famous 3 to 3 minute, 2.5 minute, 3:15 gank that all junglers do? I mean, we thought it was going to happen last game where both of these teams knew where the junglers are starting. Hopefully, Icy Rain in this top side understands that probably Hayden's going to be pathing top, specifically because she ended up opting in for the Ignite, so playing strictly for lane here as Melly G went for the TP. So it could be really punishing if she eats like an early death, an early death, and loses a couple waves, because then Melly G, like you said, will have just complete control of this matchup, as Set into Irelia is I believe 60-40 Set favored, right? Something like that.
Yeah, no, that is the case. So Icy Rain getting a bad trade, taking a bad recall is going to just hurt them that much more early on in the matchup, as they are going to take the face breaker. Just a little bit of damage put down early, and that is sort of the pain in the game if you are Icy Rain, because you cannot avoid it. It's not going to get stopped by anything. It's going to pull the minions along with it and just make it really easy for Melly G to have this early push. As we can see, that is going to be the bandage toss in. We've taken down halfway down. Has to cleanse the Ignite there from Quintic, getting a lot down, as Dallas is now the ire of the Hornets. Is going to get the knockback. Ravens, man. Oof, close there. Did blow the flash on Dallas, which means they're going to be on that timer for the next 5 minutes here, as they left with
no TP.
Digit HP.
No. Yeah, no TP coming out from Dallas as well. So that early gank, super punishing. We thought it was going to happen to Icy Rain in the top side with Hayden pathing top, but actually Raven Man goes for the early gank, and now Melly G gonna put the blue suede shoes on in the top side.
Yeah, is able to walk out from this. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Has Hayden here to back him up. Is level 3, but is just going to get bursted down. Big shield coming out. Icy Rain
has enough damage coming out from Hayden.
And that is first blood over to Icy Rain. Nice! Picked up by a second there. And that 60-40 just got turned on its head. Don't believe in the numbers. Believe what you're seeing. And that is Icy Rain off to the races here.
Yeah, you can keep your statistics. You can keep your numbers. I believe in the magic, as the gold here, 1,300, direct injected into Icy Rain's veins right now. Probably going to pick up a Sheen and then some more here. And like you said, that matchup, that 60-40 gets flipped on its head. A double kill for Irelia in the early game. My God, if this was my solo queue game, Redguard, the FF votes would be coming out. The AFKs would be coming in right now as we speak if they see that. And actually, opting in for the Boots Vamp Scepter instead, going for more of the sustain so that he could get into these extended trades onto Melly G. But now,
Hayden looking to fight Sejuani. That is not the hamster that you want to mess with here. Dallas here to back
flash
him up.
On Raven.
Does get the knockback. Raven is going to try to head for the hills. That Q is not
flash.
Just up yet.
One more Q.
Down. And that is Hayden getting a kill back onto Raven's man. Said you might be the head referee here, but you die all the same. As now we're just sitting at just a 500 gold difference here in the early game. Gilqueef going to have to be careful. Now Dallas is in lethal range. Is going to get a pushback into the stun. Jobin has the flash. Is going to use it. Does not have the abduct yet. Dallas trying to use that movement passive along the wall. Is gaining some ground. Ease off cooldown. There it is forward. One more auto attack will do it. But it's actually Hayden underneath the tower.
Nice,
He's going to pick up a kill. And Dallas is going to get one along the way here. Bodies are flying everywhere as now Belly G gets a shutdown on the top of the map. This is 3 lanes and 4 kills so far. Quintic 9 to get for the hill, but a little bit of health left. Is going to get taken down here. That's a double kill to Chobin. That is just an explosion. 3 and 2, something along those lines. The gold lead has rocketed up here to like 1.1k along the way. And wow, well, now Ravens is going to try to go for this early Drake. Remember, Drakes have more health on this patch. Take a bit longer. No vision there to be spotted out by the Ducks, so should be able to get away with this highway robbery pretty quickly. But what just happened?
A lot of scrapping, a lot of dukes, but ended up happening in that bot side is that Yoey and Quintic were able to get the kill onto Seraphine, but Frozen Forever had a really nice handshake onto, I believe, Hayden there, was able to pull him back in. All the meanwhile, Chobin picked up a kill onto Dallas while he was going down through the river, finally was able to pick it up. And he decided, you know what? I'm balling. Might as well gank them too. So decided to show some love down there. Got the kill onto Quintic and then picked up 2 more for himself. So he ends up 3-0 right now. And all the meanwhile, Icy Rain took a nasty trade into Melly G. Melly G completely just obliterated him with the true damage W, was able to kill him. But now Dallas, Icy Rain duking it out. Uh-oh, Dallas is dead.
That's going to be the abductive send, and that is going to be a dead Talia. No stones to be unraveled here today, as now Quintic needs to watch for the hills. Frozen Forever, flash handshake is going to get the last auto down on Quintic. Still alive. Yowie needs to run for the hills now. Giggle Queen trying to go for some more. Is not going to, get that kill, but is going to take a nice charged up tower shot along the way, and we are continuing to fight here in this final game of VRD.
Yeah, a lot of smoke and hot air coming out from that bottom lane on the side of Hornets here. Unfortunately, not able to finish anything off. Only able to get Quintic, unable to pick up Yoey. But yeah, Hornets, this composition, you worried about their bot side, and you told me about the frozen Renata. I thought you guys were hyping it up. I thought you guys were like, oh, it can't be that good. But my God, these handshakes have been amazing. Very, very firm. You'd be so proud of Frozen here on the Renata and just able to flip this situation to the bot side. Still about a 1,000 gold lead for the Hornets here, as Ravens, man, was just hanging out on this top side. And Melly G either suspects something or is the luckiest person alive, as was just able to back out of here. And bot lane and mid lane both fighting right now.
Yeah, fights on both sides of the map. Frozen Forever in a bit of a pickle here, is able to walk out of that last bandage toss using that E to give themselves a shield to walk out. Ignite was burned. Yowie and Quintic have to be close to 6 here soon. Once these ultimates come online on the bot side of the map, all hell will break loose. But now it's Hayden trying to get the red buff. Has to get away from Ravens, man. Shouldn't be too much crazy. But now Dallas is down. Frozen Forever knocked back, taken down by Misfortune with a little bit of a love tap. Now Hayden having to use the ultimate. But it's stolen back by Chobin. Hayden is able to get an early wake up from the red buff. Pretty dope, if I do say so myself. Able to walk out, and that is just 1 kill over to the side of the Ducks.
Yeah, gets the wake up from the sleep, able to trance their way out of there. Oh, Dallas has to flash. That man has not had that summoner spell up for more than 30 seconds. Beginning of the game, got it blown, and immediately gets it blown again from Chobin. And man, Dallas having a rough time in this mid lane. Chobin. Oh my God.
Chobin just going to pick up a solo kill there. No muss, no fuss. Have to see if the man gets the Infinity Gauntlet, the Dark Seal. Need to get those stacks going soon, because that's what we call an investment for the future, kids. Always invest.
That's solid advice. I mean, I couldn't agree more. Always invest, like you said. 4-0 on this Silas, we were talking about super strong into the early game. What we would have loved to see potentially from that last game's composition. The Hornets must have been listening in. They must have been tapped into the stream, because they picked a very nice all-in composition. You have the individuals that want to dive. You have the supportive bot lane that can throw an encore, that can throw an ultimate from the Renata and support you from there. But Chobin, Ravensman, and Icy Rain are just going to wreak havoc onto Dallas and Yoey. And it's going to be up to Melly G and Hayden to kind of stuff that engage, either with the ultimate from either Set, right? Ulting out somebody like the Silas, somebody like the Irelia, backing away from the team, or if it's going to come from the 3 to 4 man sleeps coming out from Hayden, right? You have the engage, but I feel like if Ducks have to use the Amumu ultimate defensively, that they're just going to lose the fight outright, as Hayden
and Ravens, man. find each other again. Is going to get stunned up. It should be Melly G who has the first move to the fight. It's actually choosing to keep Icy Rain away as the 1v1 was looking great.
Nice
But now
sleep.
it's going to be drowsied out. Unstoppable Showstopper back on in. But that shield is a lot. Hayden goes down on the backside from Chobin. Now it's just Melly G and Icy Rain looking down the barrel here. That is going to be the ultimate stolen away. Chobin has the Showstopper. Will he be able to shop the show? That is Dallas is not in a good spot. Is going to get Showstopper taken down here by Icy Rain. And the solo lanes of the Hornets will not be denied.
Chobin just having a monster performance on the side. And honestly, Ardor, I don't think he's going to get this champion in all of VRD again.
Melly G feeling a little bit unsteady, misses
Icy
that
Rain.
W, and Icy Rain is now 5-1. And this is the way the Hornets play the game. It is not League of Legends. It is not a 5v5. They're going to play this diagonally. They're going to play over sides and continue to abuse these solo lanes of the Ducks that just don't look like they can swim.
No, yeah, they can't hang at all, unfortunately. Melly G had the counter matchup, and Irelia just able to pick up those quick 2 early kills, like you said, swung that matchup, and now Encore comes out.
But they do get it down! That's the handshake pulled back, and that is Hayden gone forever, frozen in time on the gray screen.
Frozen in time, 4 deaths in 11.5 minutes. Another dragon being stacked onto the Hornets. This game, almost 2,500 gold lead for the Hornets here. Chobin and Icy Rain have a lot of that gold. And Dallas is dead. Chobin's just gonna run at you.
You're not allowed
slowly,
to be
man.
here. Is gonna get stunned up. Has the second part of the E. Is gonna get dodged out. Dallas though cannot escape Chobin. The Wild Man will burn you down. That is 6-0. That is what we call domination on the Rift.
Yeah, Chobin is just destroying this matchup. Flashless Dallas means another sack of gold for him, right? He's farming him like a cannon minion. 0-5 right now at the 12.5 minute mark. Taking his recall, gonna have a 13-minute Everfrost at the moment. 77 CS is up in gold, has the boots as well, plus a stopwatch. This guy has 6 stacks on the Ring of Power as well. I mean, it is looking, everything's looking Chobin right now, and I don't think, like I said, he's not going to get the Silas again, I don't think, in VRD.
Melly G, though, looking like they're trying to make something happen. Hayden, though, is already getting burnt down. Sleepy Trouble is not going to be enough as Melly G is now in there in the thick of it. Quintek, that is going to be over the top. Not a matter in the world. Quintek's just going to go down here shortly. And this is another fight going over to the side of the Hornets. They are bleeding. The Ducks are in trouble. And what are they going to do to stop this now 4K gold lead? And
Dallas
what's
is dead.
seemingly... Yeah, no, Dallas has been dead.
Oh, he has flash.
Let's
Got
see how
flash.
he uses it. Let's see. That is going to be the abduct. He misses the E2. Dallas continues to put down the tethered earth, trying to use this movement speed against the wall, but that's another slow. The pushback is there. Now Yowie's up. But that is going to be the bullet time into spaces. Chobin is now legendary. Yowie has to run for the hills. What can you do to stop him? He will not be denied.
No, Chobin gets the kill, uses the stopwatch as Yowie throws the ultimate down. His live 8-0-3, fully stacked on the Ring of Power here. Honestly, he's gonna turn that into a Medjai. I wouldn't be surprised. I would do it. You get the move speed, you get 50 ability power once you upgrade. It is completely cost efficient at the moment, gold efficient if you want to say. 4,500 gold on the Hornets. A big chunk of that is on to Icy Rain and Chobin here as they're gonna pick up the tier 1 mid potentially. Chobin though might be giving some of his stacks away. No, he's completely fine. He's in no danger at all. He's gonna walk it out. And this silence is absolutely massive. The Ducks have to stem the bleeding. They have to slow the game down so that their MF and Talia can actually start to get some items. They can actually get a good wombo combo going down with the Curse of the Sad Bullet Time potentially. But it's looking hard. Hornets having really good possession of this game.
The wrong part of town here is going to get stacked up and stuck down. Frozen Forever decided they want a little bit of gold. Now 4-2 on the Granada. But hey, we've seen it once. We've seen it twice. Dallas going to gray screen once again. As Quintek down on the bottom side is also going to join them in this attempt. Dallas actually got some fancy. Will pick up the kill. That is 8-1. Take those stacks on your Medjai and rip the pages out of the book. You get reset to 0, sir. As Icy Rain finds Yowie. Yowie's about to say owie. If there's a flash in Icy Rain, there is not. But The Vanguard's Edge comes out and is actually going to trade
That's
the
not
kills
worth.
back. That's pretty great if you're a Ducks fan right now, because Yowie did say owie.
Yeah, 700 gold going into the pockets of Yowie or Yowie on top of the extra kill gold. And now Leap comes in.
We've had to use Cleanse. That's a good handshake, keeping Dallas at bay, but now Hayden's in there. Frozen Forever is too far forward in this fight, is going to burn out. No bailout available, and that is going to be Ravensman also going down. They're continuing to push forward. Gilqueef going to get bopped on the head as well, and Hayden now is 5-6, picking up a triple kill in that fight. The Ducks ain't done.
The Mighty Ducks are coming back. 3,000, 2,500. It was once a 5,000 goal lead for the Hornets, but they're giving shutdowns away like candy. And Dallas, I don't know if you want this fight, man. Like, you're poking the big bad bear, and he's gonna bite back. You've died 6 times. Dallas says, kill me 6 times. He won't kill me a 7th. Gets 2 kills here. Icy Rain with the long stun onto Melly G. They're gonna trade. Melly G's just walking it out.
Melly G's not walking it out. He's limping. As now Chobin is going to get dived under tower. That is a kill over to Yowie again, but Melly G on the top side will fall in return as they're going to get this tier 1. The Ducks got some life. Their little feet are kicking along here.
Oh, they get the mid. They get the mid lane tier 1 for their troubles, but Icy Rain picks up another kill. Frozen Forever.
Frozen
Oh my God.
forever. RAP, always remembered. But Dallas, you've seen it once, you've seen it again. No outplay this time, as Icy Rain's going to continue to just try to fight. Does not have the full Ionian Fever. Will get the bandage wrap, but that's a nice encore over the top. It's still alive.
No.
Irelia is an amazing champion here in this game called League of Legends, and Hayden's picking up another shutdown as Ravensman's going to keep on going in, trying to get the passive stacks up. That's going to be the stun going down. Gilqueef not able to land the beat drop. That's another
damage.
Stun. Ultimate coming out. Is Hayden going to fall? No, they're still going to stay alive. Yowie picks up another kill, but Yowie may just hate that they did that. As now Melly G is here. Melly G gets down. The showstopper is going to try to face breaker them back together again, but Gilqueef continues to try to storm it out, and Chobin is coming back to life. 8 stacks back in the book, ladies and gentlemen. He said, I wanted to give him a chance, guys. This isn't an int. This is called a comeback.
I mean, he's playing Slender Man, trying to pick up the pages back into his book. Unfortunately, 8 stacks, not 10. Still pretty good here, picking them back up. Chobin, though, 1,000 gold lead between the Hornets, right? I don't think that's a bug. It was 5,000 at one point, right, Darn? It has just devolved into a battle royale, a bloodbath between these teams. And that's even up the gold as Icy Rain going in once again.
Yeah, and Dallas is actually still alive. There's a nice stun under the turret. Is going to get the bailout. He's going to take another tower shot and go down along the way. That is a nice shutdown given over to Yowie, sitting on 2 items strong. That's a full-on Muramana. But Chobin says, I would like the Curse of the Sad Mummy. I would like to have this AoE ultimate with my 8 stacks on my Medjais. What is happening? Gaming.
Team Deathmatch. We're out of League of Legends. They added a new mode. It's called TDM. It's where you get the most kills. The gold is evened up. Right, the gold has evened up right now. 35 apiece. The Ducks were down 5K nearly 4 minutes ago. The Hornets have pissed this lead away, and now I don't know what they're going to do.
Chobin goes in, gets the ultimate down, is stunned up. That is just CC. The hostile takeover doesn't hit anybody, but it's still working its magic. Quintic goes to the backline. Frozen Forever and him are going to trade their life support combat, but it is the Ducks coming up big. The Wombo combos. Gilqueef, run for your life. No flash, has a cleanse and a dream, but it doesn't matter because dreams aren't real.
The Ducks are going to take the Infernal Dragon, and this is not what you... Icy Rain, though! He's got something to say!
Wait, Icy Rain's just going to get stunned up. Half health, is able to pick up a kill on the play, but is just going to get shut down. Simple as that. Dallas is here to play. This is not what you saw in the first 10 minutes, but this is what you've seen in the past 5. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. The Hornets may have fumbled the bag.
That is a very, very generous way of saying that they threw their lead. They threw their lead. There is a point in the game where Icy Rain was like 7-0. Chobin was like 6-0, and they had everything, and they started diving. They started giving gold and shutdowns back to the right members. Yowie was completely out of this game at one point. no kills, nothing. Was just getting completely bullied. Is now 7-4, three items onto this MF. You also have another 6 kills onto Hayden, picked up a triple kill for himself. Dallas at one point was 0-6, Regdor. He was 0-6 and now is evened it almost back up to 5-8-7, is on his 3rd item. Like, the Hornets, they are not in the lead anymore, but they're playing like they are, and they're getting completely washed and punished right now. And if the Ducks are allowed to stack 4 Infernal Dragons, which give you, I think, 6% ability power and attack damage, that's going to be devastating.
Going to go in. Quintic on the front line is going to get rooted down. Handshake into another. Now they're just backing off. It was just a nice little love tap. Just a hello. We're here trying to exert some pressure over the Baron Nashor. We've got Icy Rain down in the bot lane, getting the split push on. Chobin's going to match Melly G in the other side lane. This is what you call a nice little 4v3 here in the mid lane as the Ducks continue to try to create pressure to start up the Baron Nashor. They've gotten one neutral objective to them as Ravensman is just going to keep on taking rocks to the face. Is able to survive it out here, just has the Anathema's Chains and the Bomby Cinder. No real tankiness yet.
He got the hot stone massage right in the mid lane. Really, it was just onto his back. Constant
might
stones.
be a pick out on Hayden. Goes Golden. Let's see. They're going to try to get down the sleep, but it doesn't matter. They go down in the process. Gilgamesh picking up a kill.
Icy Rain.
Icy Rain made a oopsie daisy there between a tier 1 and a tier 2. Fed another kill over to the side of the Ducks. So that is 1 for 1 in the long trade, and the big purple worm still unclaimed. As now Chobin is going forward, is a bit deep all on their own, is just going to get one person down, is going to go golden. That is going to go long. Okay, the hostile takeover, though, might be what they need. Chobin's still alive. Using the Kingslayer to stay alive. Melly G on the back line, though. Scott Ravenman in his sights is going to flash to finish that one off. Is exhausted in the mid lane. Frozen Forever on their own. Chobin is not able to get the abduct, and now Melly G is coming forward. Is going to get handshake, but he's going to get pushed back. Frozen Forever still alive, though. We've still help. Got everything they need. Can they stay alive? No. Melly G is going to try to stop him. He is going to get shut down. Hornets are still in this game, ladies and gentlemen. They are making it work, but that tier 1 tower is just doing a little bit of hurt.
This is some of the sloppiest League of Legends I have seen in the VRD. Chobin going in on the Hayden.
Chobin, it misses half his kit, but it doesn't matter because Giggleweave's there, gets the auto attack, and that's going to be Hayden down.
Hayden is down 35-25, nearly still just a 1.5k gold lead, and the Ducks and Hornets are absolutely squabbing it out right now. It is on site for these two. They don't care. Like, they see each other, they're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna kill you, I'm do everything in my power. Icy Rain is the embodiment of on-site beef. Literally, he just sees hero, wants to kill hero. Split pushing, you know what? If I see a champion, I don't want the turret. I want to kill you. I want to take your life. I want to make sure you see the gray screen as much as possible. And that's his motive right now. Him and Chobin on the same wavelength. Wait a minute.
Just going to get a full combo to the face. Does have the Maul of Malmortius. Has that MR as well as that lifeline passive with the Gore Drinker as well. Has a lot of sustain in these fights. But now Frozen Forever, able to get some fancy footwork, able to dodge out on that pushback. It's just going to try to deny some vision. But Dallas said, no. This is going to be defended. You're going to lose half your health bar for it along the way. And once again, we are around the top side of the map. We are around this Baron. What was once looking like a funeral for the Ducks instead has turned into like a bar mitzvah. Something that's like kind of fun, but not super fun is Melly G is not having a fun time inside the Vanguard's edge. Has that full stack of grits. Going to put down the showstopper. And flash away by Icy Rain, though, is able to win out on the 1v1 on the top side of the map. Is now we're looking around this Drake.
That really
and that's just going to be stunned up. Okay, there was an encore, but it went wide. Now we got Ravensman pushed really far forward. Frozen Forever trying to follow up with him. Chobin's off on the side. Gets down the bullet time to push out Dallas. They have control of the pit. But Ravensman says we're going to look for more with Icy Rain on the backside.
Able to connect
to the rest of the team. But now Quintic is in a bad spot. Has to go golden. Icy Rain able to get back to the rest of the team. That is a dead mummy if I've ever seen one. They have control of the Baron pit. But, you know, that may not mean as much as they do get down in the sleepy time. Chobin, though, able to pick up a second kill. Yowie on the wrong part of town is going to go golden, or it's going to go to gray screen, and that's a triple kill. Chobin, does he want to go for a quadra? Of course he wants to go for the quadra, but he's not going to be able to get it as they're all just tanking tower shots as Hayden runs away. You know how Lilia works. She gets
Hayden?
movement speed.
You don't chase and get the dragon, guys. Oh my God! Set once more. Melly G is coming in right now. Melly G is just flanking from the top side here. Wait a minute. Actually, not gonna ape out. Just gonna go to the bot side, pick up all that farm. TP's coming in to secure this dragon. Don't think it was needed, but you know what? Get it just in case. You put yourself on soul point. Infernal dragon. Ragnar, I'm gonna give you a chance to breathe, as that fight was about 3 minutes long continuously, as Icy Rain just refused to split push the top side after killing Melly G. Instead, decided to join up with his team for the scuffed team fight I've ever seen in week 1 of VRD. And now they're finally going to pick up the tier 1 mid. They're going to turn their eyes potentially towards the Baron. We're definitely going to get another fight from these squads. I mean, these are just so sloppy. Like the over chasing from the Hornet, the reluctance to engage from the Ducks. These is just two teams, two blind guys swinging at each other and completely missing, but somehow also hitting the most sensitive spots.
Can I tell you, Shibby? I love this. This is great. This is not
League of Legends.
This is not League of Legends. This is something else. As now Chauvin has found Dallas once again. Is this a name of the early game? Yes, it is. It is Dallas goes to gray screen. And that may be the advantage they need to be able to turn on to the big purple worm, which is really just, a pretext to start another fight. It's not about the objective. It's about fighting each other again. A lot of ultimates up. Hostile Takeover and Encore both available. We've got the Glacial Prison, the Vanguard's Edge, all up for the Hornets as Icy Rain looks for Hayden. Hayden is now in a bad spot. Going to have to flash over the wall. Still has access to the Lullaby.
For the Baron.
Chooses not to use it. Now, are they going to go for the Baron? Is it just a bait to fight again? We'll find out on the next chapter of VRD.
Wait a minute. Okay, Quintek wants to go in here. The flash is out from Hayden. Icy Rain screws the Baron. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna leash it. I just want to kill somebody here. Oh, we'll fight.
Icy Rain trying to buy space for the team, but that is 3 on it. Okay, Ravensman's over the wall. We do not care. It's the team fight that is on, but Icy Rain has them all on Mortius, keeping them alive. Can they stay alive any longer? No, they're gonna go down. That is the hostile takeover and the bullet time going both ways. Chauvin is just gonna be shut down. Melly G may not be able to die here. They're going to continue to push forward. Can they find any more on the play? That is going to be the sleep going through. Going to push it far away as Ravensman can. Frozen Forever trying to buy space for the team. Gigaqueef still alive, still healthy. Dallas is looking. Dallas is trying to cut off their approach. Are they going to take the Baron? No, they're not. They're just going to walk away from the play. 2 down from the side of Hornets as they push this mid lane. They are going to start it up!
Yoey, full health. Melly G, full health. Quintek, 1/3 HP, 1/4 HP. They're going to start it up. Dallas solo holding this right now like a boss right now. Throwing the E down, zoning them out. The Baron is going down super quickly here.
Ravensman going for Dallas. That's 2K left on it. 1K, 800, 600. That's an objective bounty claim. That is the Baron.
They get out with their lives.
The fight afterwards. Frozen Forever is gone. Ravensman, low health. Gigaqueef as well, trying to run for high heaven. It is once again Hayden out there, making room. All 5 members. Ducks, alive, Baron. They got it. Can they win the game? I don't know.
Oh, man. I mean, they got the Baron. They've evened up the goal. It's 2 minutes, though, towards the Dragon. And you have to believe the Ducks have to fight this. If the Hornets get something as destructive as the Infernal Soul, you know these fights are going to go their way, even if they play it horribly, horribly wrong like they've been doing so far for the past 20 or so minutes. The Baron is on the side of the Ducks, but do they have the balls to push down against the Hornets, who will take a fight the moment you step out of position? This is one of those Barons where you look at it and say, you know what? We simply took it to not lose the game, to deny the enemy team from any pushing power. They can't push with this. There's just too much CC. There's too much power on the side of the Hornets at the moment. They have so much control over the map. And they're splitting.
Icy solid champion. Icy solid champion down the bot lane. Are they going to do anything with it? Okay. There's not a fight. I was so worried. Icy saw somebody. Oof.
I mean, he was looking at him. You gotta look at Icy the wrong way, and he's just gonna flash ult Irelia ult onto you and hopefully try to kill you. But now they're using their split pushing power. They're drawing resources away, but it looks like Ducks are trying to counter it with just a 4-man push into the mid lane. They don't have the siege though. They have something like the MF, who is not gonna have too much opportunity to auto attack the turret. There's still some time on this Baron, but Silas has been shoving in the top wave. Irelia in the bot side. Dragon is up in 35, Ragdor. This is the fight. This is the fight. If Hornets win, they win the game. If Ducks win, they survive a little longer.
Oh, and we know it's going to be another fight that's going to last 2.5 minutes. Right now, Vision is in control of the Ducks. They have made their pawn. They have the Ducks roost. The Ducks have their roost. As Ravensman is looking for Melly G, has to walk away. Doesn't have the flash available. Now it's Chobin up on the backside, able to pop over back into the river, connect with the rest of his team. This is not anybody looking for a flank at the moment. It's Icy Rain goes forward, gets the Vanguard down on Hayden. Hayden is slowed. Hayden is stunned up. Can they take him down? Yes, that is one over to the side of the Hornets. Number 2 is Dallas going down. The hostile takeover in the brush. Double kill for Chobin. Melly is going to go down, and Quintex soon to follow along the way. That is a triple kill for Chobin. And Icy Rain, not the website, the champion right here, Irelia with the beautiful engage onto Hayden to pick up Soul for the Hornets.
Icy Rain is playing like he's got ice in his veins, Ragdoll. He's going to give the icy hot to the Ducks, and he's going to be icy cool with it. I don't know how much longer I could go with it, so I'm going to stop. But they get the Infernal Drake here, which is not going to help the Ducks, right? They tried to claw their way back. They waddled their way slowly through the trenches, and the pause has come in as Chobin says, you know what, Hornets, you don't need me. You won the game. I'm out. My mom's cooking dinner, and I'm going to go eat it right now.
The chicken nuggies and Mountain Dew is on standby. As you get a second to see our faces, I hopefully don't look like, I don't know, a war veteran or something, because this has been an experience, and right back in we go, back on deployment here. Hornets have the soul. They're pressing down on this tier 2 tower, maybe trying to make an end towards this game, start moving towards the latter stages. It's a question of whether or not they'll do it by 100 or not. And here's our obligatory post-unpause pause.
Yep, it's going to stutter for a little bit. It'll eventually go in, but just finally. All right, guys. And never mind, we're not allowed to breathe. I lied. I thought we were going to get a little bit more time.
Okay, flash forward. Gets the Q down. This is going to be the lullaby. Holding on. Frozen Forever is just going to die. There's no question about it. But can the Ducks find anything more off the play? They cannot. Everybody's off the map. While I have this quick moment, I just want to say, Ravensman building a mythic item challenge, impossible. They've had a Bomby Cinder for 20 minutes. 25.
So I've seen this from 2 other junglers. I believe it was Malrong on Rogue, and I think also, I believe Santorin or Inspired, one of them did it when they were playing.
Ravensman's on the wrong part of town. Quintex going to get the Vanish tossed down. That's going to be face breaker to bring it back. Ravensman trying to back up. That's the extendo beam of the Encore. It's going to hit nobody. Chobin, not allowed to be here, is going to go. Golden is going to be taken down along the way. And now Icy Rain's trying to hit the Vanguard edge. Going to miss. That is going to be the push back onto them. They're trying to fight through it. The show stops.
Irelia is a cool champion.
Icy Rain is continuing to fight. Is going to go down. But that's just the GA. This is only part 1. Part 2 on its way, stunned up again and brought back down, but never mind. Okay, Dallas is finally going to get the shutdown on the play.
This might be the game-ending push. They could do it. 5 are strong for the Ducks. 2 of the strongest members of the Hornets are down. Frozen forever.
It's trying to get out. Shirelius is popped, has 1 HP left, has the fancy footwork. Ravensman's trying to defend the support. Dallas is close to death, but there's a redemption along the way, and they're going to go down. That is a beautiful sight if I've ever seen one. Supportal combat as Melly G's trying to hit this tower. Giveweep is here again, quietly, now on 3 items, trying to get it going. But my God, that's a dead hamster.
That was a true damage W coming out from Melly G there, and they're going to take what little they could get. The Ducks, again, they're one of their struggles. They don't have any pushing power. Even 2 of the strongest members of the Hornets were down in Chobin and Icy Rain, and they still were not able to push in. They were not able to take an inhibitor. They pushed some turrets. They got the kill onto Ravensman, but it's not going to mean much because they have to reset. And Chobin on the hunt right now. This guy cosplaying Warwick?
Chobin does not exist on the same plane as us mere mortals.
No.
Chobin is in a different reality, and I kind of dig it. 20-5 on this Silas. We have 5 seconds until the Baron Nashor, the next Baron Nashor, is on the map. 3 minutes until Elder. These are the only things that I think can end this game with 5 members strong for both sides, approaching critical mass.
I thought the Infernal Drake, the clean 5-0 from the Hornets, were going to end the game, but instead they didn't push any inhibs down. They didn't push anything out. And these games, I don't know. So this is a hard thing to determine. Is it a Hornets thing or is it a Ducks thing? Do the Hornets create the chaos or do the Ducks create the chaos? Right? Week 2 is the only week that's going to be able to tell us this. If the Hornets are manifesting this kind of energy into VRD or if the Ducks create it somehow through their own possible manifestation. As now the Baron is here. This is a fight.
Okay, Ducks have started up. That's going to be the hostile takeover going over 2. Frozen there is Hayden. Chobin's in the backline, able to pick up Yowie there, and now they're peeling back. Hayden is on the backline. Bailout's not going to save. Frozen Forever is on this 2-front fight. They are winning out, and the winners are going to be the Hornets on this fight. Hayden cannot catch up to get the lead. One more hit will get it, but he gets it in the end. But that is 5 for 2 in the fight, and that should mean that we get a Baron over to the Hornets. But I don't trust it.
I mean, they're going to get it. It's going to be really slow because it is both Silas and Irelia hitting it. It's going to go down. You see, they're just whittling it down right now. Silas isn't even on the Baron. Like you said, Chobin on a completely different plane. He's on the ethereal plane. Doesn't even care. Doesn't know anybody. Doesn't think about anybody. Just knows his own mode right now. Shoving in this mid lane. Probably the right play. They're going to get the Baron anyways, and they can push it down with the Baron minions. At least get the inhibitor turret. Possibly not the inhibitor. Chobin is not that much of a psychopath, it looks like. They're going to reset. They're going to prep for this Elder. And surely, Ragdor, surely this fight determines who wins the game, right?
So they said Riot wanted to introduce game-ending win conditions. Things like the Baron Nashor. Things like the Elder Dragon. And I just feel like this game spits in the face of God himself. Because it's something else. We're at 84 kills. I'm sure we're going to hit 100 somehow before this game ends. And all I can say is this is chef's kiss. I hope this sort of chaotic energy continues in VRD long after I'm gone.
Oh, I eagerly wait to see both the Ducks and the Hornets games in weeks 2 and onward. And like you said, Riot wanted to add in more game-ending win conditions. What they didn't understand is that a man like Chobin exists, a man like Icy Rain exists, to where they're just like, well, you know, I know you wanted to end the game, but I want to play. They have fun. This is their playground, right? This is practice tool to them. They're setting up all these dummies. They're setting up all these champions. They're like, oh, what? We can kill them again and again and again as Chobin. And now the fight breaks out before the Elder?
Okay, now that is just the hostile takeover taking over nothing here. As now Chobin is going to be able to steal the Curse of the Sad Mummy. As Dallas may be in the wrong part of town, they've got some room to work with, though. Going to get the pushback on Ravensman. They are firmly in control. The Hornets have the river, but that's going to be Quentin going in. Icy Rain going to throw out the Vanguard's edge. Are they going to buy into it? No, they're slowing down for now. Chobin going for Yowie. Chobin's going to get on Yowie. Icy Rain's also back there. That is also going to be 2 kills now to the side of the Hornets. Showstopper not doing as much. Stunned up will get the face breaker to finish off Icy Rain, but it's just Hayden and a sea of Hornets, and you know you're going to get stung. 4 down for the side of the Ducks. Can Melly be the one to hold off the base? Are we going to get to 100 kills? We're only going to find out here in the next few moments.
We're at nearly 90 right now, right? If Melly G goes down, we're going to be at 90 pretty much flat. 2 more pentakills potentially, and that'll get us to 100. But Melly G, what can he do? What can you do, man? Oh, my God.
That's going to be it. He's going to try to go out with a flash and a bang as he gets a bunch of Gore Drinker to heal, but it is not enough. That is the Hornets. And what should be the end of what some people call a nightmare, some people call heaven, but the one thing that's for sure is the Ducks learned if you kick the nest, you're going to get... Oh, wait. Nope. Yeah, if you kick the nest, you're going to get stung as the Hornets take the game.
91 kills. Let's go. This is VRD. 91 kills. Oh, my God. Hornets and Ducks. An absolute slobber knocker of a game, Ragdor. I am so glad I got to cast this one with you. This was fantastic. Hornets, absolute chaos, living up to the name, as Hornets are probably some of the most chaotic creatures ever created. And honestly, if all their games go like, I don't even want to know how their other 2 games went. You said they're 1-1. I simply believe that they are able to coin flip both of those games. They're playing exactly like this. They dragged it out to like 100 kills. And in one of the games, they lost the Elder fight. The other game, they won the Elder fight. And in this one, They won the Elder fight, and so they just won the game. And Hornets are completely okay with that. They're sitting at 2-1 right now. I believe you said the Ducks weren't able to pick up a win at all, and you see a whopping 52,000 damage coming out from Chobin here on the Silas. I said he wasn't going to get it again, but maybe the strat is to actually just give him Silas and hope he throws.
Yeah, that is, this is one of those games where, frankly, at the end of it, I don't think either team is better. They flipped a coin, and this time it turned up Hornets. And I would love to see a lot of things. But for now, we get to come back to see Dodge. Help. Explain.
What did you see there?
What I saw, I can break this down really simply. There were two kinds of team fights that occurred in this third and final game on the night. There were team fights that were won handily by Hornets, which is when they just hit all their ultimates, right? They had sort of this Exodia comp because you had 4 really strong team fighting ultimates and then a Silas who had 5 amazing ultimates to steal. So you had all the team fighting you needed. The problem was half of the fights, Hornets would hit every ult and hard win, and the other half of the fights, they would hit none of their ults. They would just whiff. You would see Icy Rain like flash Q into the back line, miss the flawless duet stun, then shoot off the Vanguard's edge and not connect with anybody. Meanwhile, you have Chobin with like the stolen Amumu ult, like buffer flash ulting, and not connecting on anything, and then they would just get wiped. So I think it was a little bit of over-enthusiasm from the Hornets coming through to sort of decide why that game went on so long. I think they could have played a lot cleaner, but then we wouldn't have had the religious experience that was the first week of VRD being topped off with this beautiful cherry.
I was baptized in the house of Chobin and Icy Rain. I'm now a disciple of Coin Flip. I'm a huge fan, and just as like, you know what, it's a host thing, but I'm going to do it myself because I can. So do we have a favorite moment from tonight, a player to watch, a pog, if you will?
It is such a toss-up between Icy Rain and Chobin, right? These two are absolute mad demons. They're like rabid dogs, dude. They just run at you, and they're snarling. They've got foam coming out of their mouths. They're like, you know what? I see hero, kill hero, and you just see the rest of the Hornets like, all right, Ravens man is trying to like calm these guys down on Sejuani tank, dude. He's just trying to do his best. He's like, come on, guys, relax, please. I just want to win the game. I just want to go back to TOing and looking at unban requests and banning people, but instead he got these guys. And you said religious experience. You got baptized, Regdor. Who is going to exercise the Hornets? That's what I am wondering. Which team is going to exercise them? My God, they are chaos incarnate. I mean, they are literally like everything everyone hates about League of Legends. And everything I love, and they're clearly everything you love, Regdor. But my God, everybody in the chat was just like, they wanted to burn their eyes out. I'm 100%.
This game was a call for help. For sure, from me. I snuck some very subtle subliminal messages in to express my feelings of discontent when it comes to the way the sequence of play came out. Regdor, what was your favorite moment here? You're the one who brought it up. What's your moment of focus you want to pull attention onto here?
I gotta say, like, big shout out, Frozen Forever. Had some really great things. But my thing for the night has to be Karthik. It has to be the Olaf performance, the triad of destruction that we talked about with JDK and Poro Slayer along the way. They did so much, and this was a much more what we call controlled aggression. It was, if you could take what the Hornets did and actually bottle it and shoot it in a certain direction, that's what we got out of Karthik. And I think the Wolves are going to be something really hard to handle as a pack as they continue to grow synergy and understanding of how they want to play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. My personal favorite moment on the night, I also want to give a shout out to Frozen, because I think it was them and Ravens like trying to control the chaos, trying to be the lone brain cells bouncing around in the skull. But
if you only do Frozen, that's just not the case.
Yeah. I have to say my favorite moment of the night was just meeting, Quicksand and Shibby here, getting some new buddies, welcoming back an old buddy, a late season cameo by a co-star who departed after season 1. So Regdor, welcoming you back and having a cast with you was nice. I've missed it. Everybody we worked with tonight was absolutely great. Desk was so much fun. This was such a fun night of games. Thank you to everybody in chat as well. You were all part of it. So active and lovely tonight. But nothing gold can stay. Nothing amazing can last. It is time to say goodbye and good night. No MVPs this week. We're still getting that set up for the draft leagues. We will have all those graphics ready to go, and we will have 3 MVPs after each game next week. But you at home are the MVPs in my heart for sticking around and supporting. Please do continue to do so. Join the Discord, sign up for the leagues, make friends, do all the awesome stuff. Follow us here on Twitch. You guys have any shout outs before we do go? Any things you want to plug, Twitters or the likes? I'm getting the no shakes, so that's going to be the throw off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm supposed to should be on everything: Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. I'm hip with it, guys. I just don't have an Instagram. That's about it. Yeah, I don't know. Regdor, I've seen you. You're pretty much the same on everything. Regdor casts, right?
12 out of 10. You can find me everywhere that Regdor cast is sold.
Very nice, very nice. I'm Infinite Dodge on everything, and I'm Infinite Dodge here for the last time, not Quicksand. We'll get that fixed next week when we have everybody, but until then, we will see you here, same time, same place. Be easy out there, and have a good one.